Beloved chosen one, if you're listening to this message right now, take a deep breath and know this. It's not by accident. This moment was divinely orchestrated, a sacred appointment between your spirit and the voice of destiny. Something is awakening inside of you, a stirring you can't quite explain, and as your heart quickens and your spirit leans in, I invite you to receive this truth. You have been chosen by the Creator Himself, chosen for transformation, for renewal, and for a purpose greater than anything you've ever imagined. He is about to release into your life something so beautiful, so astonishing, that even your reflection in the mirror will be a sign and wonder. Prepare yourself, for you are stepping into a divine metamorphosis, a season of supernatural youth, healing, and radiance, a gift of God's eternal touch. Part 1. The divine shift has begun. When God turns His gaze upon you, when His divine hand rests gently yet powerfully upon your life, something profound begins to unfold like the first light of morning, breaking through a long and silent night. At first, the change is subtle, almost imperceptible, but soon the world around you begins to sense it. There's a shift in your stride, a strength that wasn't there before. Your eyes reflect something deeper without uttering a word. Your very presence begins to stir the atmosphere around you. This is not imagination. This is not a coincidence. This is the undeniable mark of someone touched by heaven. God's transformation does not stop at the soul. It flows like a river from your spirit into your thoughts, your emotions, your very body. What once clung to you, weariness, sorrow, fear, begins to fall away like dust shaken from your feet. The tiredness that once settled in your bones is replaced by divine vitality. The heaviness in your heart is lifted by the breath of the Holy Spirit, and in its place, a lightness enters, full of beauty, purpose, and sacred energy. You begin to feel alive in ways you had long forgotten. But make no mistake, this is not about vanity. It's about victory. Victory over the slow erosion of hope, over despair that once whispered lies to your soul. Victory over the limitations others placed upon you and the ones you unknowingly placed upon yourself. This transformation is holy. It is heaven's way of saying, you are not who you used to be. You are being made new. From spirit to skin, renewal touches every part of you. It doesn't just lift your spirit, it awakens it. It doesn't just refresh your body, it resurrects it. The Holy Spirit is not simply improving you, He is redefining you. And as this divine shift takes root, the reflection you see in the mirror will no longer just show a face, it will reveal a testimony. A living, breathing, radiant example of what it looks like when God steps into a life and says, "Now, let there be light." Part 2. The eternal youth of the chosen. The renewal that God is bringing into your life is not simply about appearing younger. It is about being realigned with the eternal design He wove into your very being from the beginning. You were never meant to merely exist or survive. You were created to shine, to reflect the very essence of His beauty, His radiance, and His glory in a way that only you can. And now, that divine light is awakening within your body, as if heaven itself is breathing life into every cell. The changes may begin quietly, but they are unmistakably sacred. Your skin begins to carry a glow no serum could create, a softness kissed by grace, a light that seems to come from somewhere beyond this world. Your back straightens, not merely from better posture, but from a divine sense of confidence. Your laughter becomes more free, your smile more effortless, touched by joy that is not fleeting but anchored in eternity. This is not a surface-level transformation. This is not a human-made makeover. This is the touch of the Creator restoring what time and trials tried to steal from you. Your very cells seem to respond to His voice, aligning with the rhythm of heaven, and your spirit, once weary, now rises in resurrection power, lifting your entire being into newness. You are becoming more than changed. You are becoming renewed, reawakened, reborn into the beauty and strength that was always yours through Christ. You are a walking miracle, a living, breathing testimony of divine restoration. Where the world sees age and decline, God speaks of revival. Where others see limits, he whispers, "Watch what I can do." This is the fulfillment of his promise in Joel 2:25. I will restore the years the locusts have eaten. And that restoration is not only emotional or spiritual, it is tangible. It is radiant. And as you walk in this eternal youth, know this: you are not going backward. You are moving forward into a divine version of yourself that time cannot touch and no man can replicate. Part 3. What the world will see. Make no mistake, when God transforms you, the change is impossible to hide. It will be a holy echo that resonates wherever you go. People around you will begin to take notice. They'll glance twice. They'll ask questions, curious, intrigued, even baffled. What's different about you? Some might assume it's a new routine, a better diet, a different skincare regimen. They'll search for a worldly explanation to make sense of something that is completely divine. But deep down, you will know the truth. You've had an encounter with the living God, and that encounter has redefined your very essence. This isn't a glow that can be bought, or a light that can be faked. It is the radiance of heaven shining through a vessel made willing. There will be a brightness in your eyes, a peace in your expression, and a clarity in your voice that commands respect, not through force, but through quiet authority. You won't have to announce your transformation. It will speak for itself. This is not about drawing attention to yourself or seeking validation from others. It's about becoming a reflection of the one who chose you. The glow they see? It's not just light. It's the evidence of his spirit alive within you. It's the shine of grace, the fire of purpose, and the whisper of eternity woven into your daily walk. And yes, some may misunderstand. Some may resist what they cannot explain. But no one will be able to deny it. You are becoming a sign and a wonder, a walking revelation of divine craftsmanship, of a life rewritten by grace. And wherever you go, the world will see heaven's fingerprints on you. Part 4. Letting go to step into new life. Every divine transformation demands a release, a sacred shedding of the old to make room for what is new, holy, and destined. Just as a butterfly cannot take flight while clinging to the confines of its cocoon, you too must release the versions of yourself that no longer serve the brilliance of your divine identity. This is not just about letting go of habits. It's about surrendering patterns of thought, worn-out beliefs, and connections that have weighed down your wings. The toxic relationships that drained your spirit, the doubt that whispered you were never enough, the weariness that settled into your bones like winter, all of it must be laid at the feet of the one who is making you new. What God is building within you cannot exist alongside the limitations of your past. His glory will not be shared with anything that dims your light. This is your pruning season, not to punish, but to prepare. And yes, it may feel like a loss at first, but in truth, it is divine realignment. God is not taking from you. He is clearing space within you for something far greater. He is severing the ties that no longer carry your purpose. He is gently, lovingly removing what cannot thrive in your next chapter. In its place, he is planting seeds of holy possibility, relationships that honor your soul, opportunities that align with your calling, and strength that flows not from striving, but from grace. Letting go in this season is not a sign of weakness. It is a bold act of faith. Faith that what God is preparing exceeds anything you could imagine. Faith that the loss is not loss at all, but transformation in disguise. Faith that the hands of the gardener know what must be trimmed to make you flourish. So don't cling to what was. Instead, open your hands, open your heart, and trust that what lies ahead is far more beautiful than anything you leave behind. Part 5. Embracing the new you. As you continue walking through this sacred transformation, you are not becoming someone else. You are becoming you, the you God designed before the foundations of the earth. It's a beautiful unveiling, not a reinvention. Layer by layer, he is stripping away everything that was never meant to define you. And in this divine revealing, long-buried dreams begin to stir again. Passions you once silenced come back to life, now burning brighter than before. You start to remember the visions you thought were lost to time. And in the mirror, you finally see someone you recognize, not just by features, but by purpose. And you whisper with awe, "Yes, that's me. That's who God created." With this rediscovery comes a new kind of confidence, one not born of ego, but of sacred identity. It's not about walking taller to be seen, it's about walking truer because you finally know who you are. This is the quiet boldness of someone who understands they are God's handiwork, His masterpiece, His chosen one. You begin to move through the world differently. Your words carry more weight, not because they're louder, but because they're anchored in truth. Even your silence holds power because your very presence speaks of healing, wholeness, and heaven's touch. Everything about you begins to declare, without apology or hesitation, "I am loved. I am called. I am new." And the world around you will feel it, even if they can't explain it. Because when you walk in alignment with the identity God has placed within you, you don't just live, you radiate. You become a reflection of divine possibility. And the more you embrace who you truly are in Christ, the more unstoppable, unshakable, and undeniably radiant you become. Part 6. Resistance, Refinement, and Rising Higher. As the transformation within you deepens, not everyone will understand the changes they see. Some will question it, unable to reconcile the person you are becoming with the version of you they once knew. Others may quietly pull away, unsettled by the light you now carry, a light that challenges their comfort zones. They were familiar with the older version of you, the one who dimmed your shine to fit in, who carried your brilliance in silence. But now, as you rise into your God-given identity, that familiar version fades, and with it, the attachments that were never meant to last. And though this can feel painful, like relational tides shifting without warning, it is not rejection, it is refinement. God is using this season to reveal who is truly aligned with your divine journey. He is allowing your transformation to be the mirror that reflects hearts and motives, exposing what can no longer walk beside you. This is not a punishment, it is a gift. For in shedding what no longer fits, you create space for what is sacred. Divinely appointed relationships that see you not only for who you were, but for who you are becoming. These are the ones who recognize your growth and celebrate it. They water your dreams, honor your healing, and speak life into your calling. And as you continue to rise, you'll gain more than just a new community, you'll gain clarity. Not only about who is for you, but about who you truly are. You begin to see with spiritual eyes, realizing that resistance is not always opposition. It's often confirmation that you are walking the right path. The brighter your light, the more it exposes. But don't fear it. Embrace it. Because this clarity, though born from discomfort, is the soil in which your next level will flourish. You are not losing people, you are gaining perspective. And what awaits you ahead is far greater than what's been left behind. Part 7. Walking in God's Purpose. The transformation that God is working in your life was never meant to stop at outward beauty. It is far deeper, far more sacred. It is about divine alignment. Every change you feel, every shift you sense, is part of a holy realignment. God is bringing your body, your spirit, your relationships, and your dreams into harmony with the divine path He has already prepared for you. He is not simply polishing you, He is positioning you. That's why doors are opening that you never knocked on, and people are being removed or introduced with such divine precision. It's not random. It's not chaos. It's purpose. What feels like surprise to you is a strategy to Him. God is leading you into spaces you never expected to enter, into rooms where your name is spoken with honor, into conversations you never planned but deeply needed, and into opportunities that once seemed distant or even impossible. And yet, in your spirit, there's a quiet knowing. This is where I'm meant to be. God has been orchestrating every step, every delay, every detour to bring you into perfect alignment with your calling. This is the beauty of walking in God's purpose. It's not always predictable, but it is always intentional. Every encounter has meaning. Every redirection has mercy behind it. And as you surrender to His movement, you'll notice your entire life beginning to flow with greater ease. Decisions feel clearer. Timing feels divine. That's because when you walk in step with heaven, even the hard things begin to make sense. Even the closed doors feel like blessings in disguise. God is writing a story through your life, and it's a story of redemption, beauty, and power. You are not being transformed for appearance's sake. You are being prepared to carry His glory in a way that changes lives. He is aligning every part of you to fulfill a promise spoken over you long ago. And now, as you walk in His purpose, you are walking into the fulfillment of that promise, one step at a time, guided by His hand, anchored in His love. Part 8. Becoming a living testimony. As you continue to walk this sacred, spirit-led path, something extraordinary will become a catalyst for transformation in others. The change God is bringing into your life is not only for your benefit, it is a testimony in motion, a living message that others will read before they ever open a Bible. When people see the glow on your face, the peace in your heart, and the strength in your step, they'll pause, they'll wonder, and in that moment of awe, their hearts will whisper a quiet hope. If God could do that for them, maybe He can do it for me too. You may never know the full impact of your transformation, but heaven will, because your life will speak louder than any sermon. You'll carry God's message without needing a stage. Your very presence will preach resurrection. The radiance in your eyes will testify to healing. The joy that flows from your spirit, effortless, anchored, and unshakable, will be proof of divine intervention. You won't have to convince people with words. The fruit of your transformation will speak for itself. It will whisper to the broken. It will shout to the weary. It will call the doubting back to faith. And this transformation won't be a one-time moment. It will be a continuous unfolding. You'll go from youth to strength, from sorrow to deep, abiding peace. The confusion that once clouded your mind will be replaced by clarity rooted in divine wisdom. It will be layer upon layer of glory, revealing more and more of God's goodness with every step you take. Each chapter of your journey will declare something new, that He restores what was lost, that He brings beauty out of ashes, that He renews strength like the eagle. So now, chosen one, as you stand at the edge of this divine transformation, don't look back. Don't question what God is doing. Step forward, eyes lifted, heart open. The Creator of heaven and earth has looked upon you and said, "You are mine, and I am making all things new." This is your moment. This is your time. You are not just living. You are glowing. You are rising. You are walking in miracles, from the inside out. From glory to glory, from ordinary to extraordinary. You were never meant to blend in. You were made to shine. And now, you will. If this message resonated with your spirit, we invite you to leave the number 77 in the comments. It's a number of divine alignment, completion, and purpose. Let it be your yes to the transformation God is stirring within you. If you'd like to support us in creating more messages like this, consider clicking the subscribe button. Every kind gesture fuels our passion to serve this beautiful chosen community. Until next time, stay radiant, stay faithful, and never forget, you are chosen. In a world full of noise, distractions, and shallow interactions, a few rare individuals have forged a different path. These are the chosen ones, the ones who walk the road less traveled, the ones who have embraced solitude, not as a curse, but as their battlefield. While others remain lost in the chaos of their lives, the chosen ones rise, unshaken by the challenges that break most people. They carve new paths in the unknown, evolving into beings of power, clarity, and depth. But how do they do it? How do they survive the hardships that others can't even imagine enduring? It is in solitude where the chosen ones find their true strength. This isolation doesn't break them, it shapes them. It forces them to confront their deepest fears, to sharpen their minds, and to develop powers that separate them from the majority. And those powers are what make them unstoppable. If you've ever felt different, if you've ever been drawn away from the crowd, you know the silence, the feeling of being out of place, and yet, you also know that it is this very solitude that holds the key to your transformation. In this article, we will uncover the 5 supernatural powers that the chosen ones develop in solitude. Powers that make them rise above the 80% of people who remain stuck in the noise and distractions of life. These powers will not only make you unstoppable, they will also change the way you see the world and the way the world sees you. Now I invite you to hit that subscribe button and comment 777 below to join me on this journey of faith, healing, and transformation. Let's walk together. Power 1. The ironclad mind, unshaken in the face of pressure. In a world where chaos reigns and pressure mounts, the chosen ones remain unshaken, like mountains standing tall against the fiercest storms. When everything around them crumbles, they don't break. They don't panic. Instead, they thrive. While the world is designed to break the average person, through distractions, expectations, and emotional turmoil, the chosen stand firm, undeterred by the relentless forces around them. Their minds are unmovable, their will unbreakable. This unshakable mindset is not born of mere luck. It's forged in the fires of adversity. The chosen ones have faced hardships most would never imagine: betrayal, loneliness, abandonment, and despair. These trials have not been their undoing, but their shaping force. Like steel in a forge, the heat of their struggles has hardened them, giving them the strength to withstand whatever life throws their way. Each challenge they've faced has added layers to their resolve, solidifying their inner strength and resilience. While others crumble under pressure, overwhelmed by emotion and circumstance, the chosen remain standing, their hearts calm and their minds sharp. In moments of crisis, where the world spirals into chaos, the chosen ones do not react with rage, fear, or panic. They remain still, like the eye of a hurricane, calm amidst the storm. Others may lash out, make rash decisions, or allow their emotions to rule their actions, but the chosen are different. They step back and observe. They calculate their next move with precise intention, unaffected by the emotions that cloud others' judgment. Where others act impulsively, driven by the rush of adrenaline or the weight of their fears, the chosen calmly plan, making decisions with a clarity that others cannot fathom. Their ability to remain composed is often misunderstood. Many mistake their calm for coldness, assuming that the chosen feel nothing. But this is far from the truth. The reality is that the chosen have mastered their emotions. They don't suppress their feelings, they control them. They've learned how to sit with their emotions, process them, and channel that raw energy into something more powerful. Where others would allow their emotions to drive them to destruction, the chosen harness their emotional energy, refining it, turning it into strength and focus. It is in this mastery of self that the true power of the chosen lies. When most people crumble under the weight of a stressful situation, the chosen remain resolute. They are not immune to pain or distress, but they refuse to let those emotions govern their actions. Instead, they transform those feelings into something greater. The chosen can feel the sting of betrayal, the heaviness of sorrow, the intensity of anger, but they do not let these emotions control them. They take that energy, refine it, and use it to propel themselves forward. This is what makes them dangerous. While others react impulsively, the chosen move with purpose. While others explode, the chosen remain calm, calculating, and unbreakable. In heated moments, whether in arguments, conflicts, or high-stakes decisions, the chosen are the ones who remain grounded. They see through the noise, recognizing that the true battle lies not outside themselves, but within. They have already faced the greatest adversary, their own doubts, fears, and emotions. As a result, their minds are clear, their instincts sharpened, and their decisions deliberate. They are in full control, and in a world that thrives on chaos, this inner mastery gives them an edge that others simply cannot match. The greatest strength of the chosen lies not in their ability to avoid emotions, but in their ability to control them. They have learned to face the storm within, and have come out the other side with a mind stronger than steel. This is what makes them unshakable, unstoppable, and ultimately, undefeatable. While the rest of the world falters under the weight of their own emotional turmoil, the chosen walk calmly, resolutely, and purposefully, moving toward greatness with unwavering certainty. Power 2. The soul's X-ray, seeing through the masks of others. The chosen ones possess a rare gift, the ability to see through the masks that most people wear. In a world where nearly everyone hides behind a facade, pretending to be confident, happy, or at peace, the chosen see the truth that lies beneath the surface. They can hear the words people speak, but more importantly, they feel the weight of their silence. The chosen can look into someone's eyes and perceive the unspoken fears, insecurities, and desires that lurk beneath the surface. To them, the world is full of masks, but they possess the power to remove them, revealing the raw, unfiltered truth that others try desperately to hide. This ability is not something that is given lightly. It is earned through solitude. While the rest of the world fills their days with distractions and noise, the chosen sit in silence, learning to observe. They become masters of reading subtle cues, the slight hesitation in someone's voice, the tension in their posture, the flicker of doubt in their eyes. These small signals that most people miss become glaring indicators to the chosen. It's as though they possess X-ray vision, enabling them to peer past the carefully constructed facades that others present to the world and see the hidden truths beneath. What makes this ability so unsettling is that it strips people of their illusions. When the chosen look at someone, it's as if that person is laid bare, exposed for all their hidden motives, contradictions, and lies. People are uncomfortable when they realize they cannot hide their true selves from the chosen. They may smile, but the chosen can sense the resentment lurking behind that smile. They may speak confidently, but the chosen can detect the underlying insecurity. It is this ability to see through the veil of pretense that makes the chosen one so powerful and so feared. However, the chosen do not use their gift to manipulate or take advantage of others. They don't use their insights to control, they use them to understand. This power isn't about gaining an upper hand over others. It is about protecting themselves from deception and forming deep, authentic connections with the few who dare to be real. While most people live in a world of illusions, the chosen walk through life with eyes wide open, fully aware of the truths others are too afraid to acknowledge. They understand that to truly connect with others, you must first see them as they truly are, not as they present themselves. In a society where most people are actors, playing roles to protect themselves or fit in, the chosen ones see through the performance. They recognize the difference between appearance and reality, and this understanding sets them apart. They don't get fooled by charming words or polished images. Instead, they see the raw, unfiltered reality of the human experience. It is this ability to see the truth that makes them dangerous to those who rely on deception to navigate the world. The chosen are rare. Few people possess this level of clarity and understanding. But those who do are unstoppable, for they cannot be manipulated or controlled by the lies that bind most others. The power of the chosen is not just in their ability to see others clearly, it's in their capacity to navigate the world with authenticity. They recognize the masks people wear, but they are not fooled by them. Instead, they meet people where they are, seeing the truth behind the mask and connecting with others on a deeper level than most will ever experience. This is the power of the chosen, the ability to see beyond the surface, beyond the illusions, and to understand the real, raw truth that lies beneath. Power 3. The razor mind phenomenon, clarity and focus in the midst of chaos. In a world overwhelmed by noise, distractions, and constant chaos, the chosen ones have mastered the art of razor-sharp focus. While others are drowned in a sea of uncertainty, confusion, and hesitation, the chosen stand clear and resolute, their minds sharp as blades. They can cut through the noise, seeing the world with a clarity that most can only dream of. While the masses are pulled in 100 directions, the chosen remain focused, determined, and absolutely certain of their purpose. This remarkable ability to maintain hyper-focus does not come naturally. It is a skill honed over countless hours of solitude, introspection, and self-discipline. In a world where most people waste their time mindlessly scrolling through social media, engaging in shallow conversations, or filling their minds with trivial distractions, the chosen use their time differently. They embrace silence, allowing themselves to tune out the chaos around them. They learn to focus their minds, sharpening their clarity like a blade being honed to perfection. Where others are lost in the noise, the chosen see through it, pinpointing what truly matters and focusing all their energy on it. This laser-like focus is not a product of chance. It is the result of rigorous mental training. Through isolation, the chosen have learned to shut out the doubts, fears, and distractions that cloud the minds of others. They have spent countless hours reflecting on their goals, their motivations, and the path they must take. In doing so, they have developed the ability to cut through the mental fog that paralyzes others and see clearly what is important. This heightened clarity allows them to make decisions swiftly and with confidence, something most people cannot do in the face of confusion and pressure. While the world around them may be in chaos, the chosen remain calm and composed. They don't second-guess themselves. When others hesitate, caught in the swirl of uncertainty and indecision, the chosen move forward with purpose, making choices that others are too afraid to make. Their mind is no longer clouded by doubt or fear. They have trained themselves to trust their judgment completely. This ability to see clearly, to make decisions without hesitation, is what sets them apart from the rest of the world. And it is this clarity that makes them unstoppable. In a world where most people freeze when faced with pressure, the chosen step into the storm with unshakable certainty. They make decisions that seem reckless to others, but to them, it is the natural result of their unwavering focus and crystal-clear understanding of the situation. Where others get lost in the noise, the chosen move with precision, always one step ahead, always certain of their direction. This absolute clarity of thought is not just a gift. It is the culmination of their inner work, their dedication to mastering their mind and their purpose. And this power, this ability to cut through the chaos, is what makes the chosen ones truly unstoppable. Power 4. The echo of pain. Understanding the unspoken struggles of others. The chosen ones possess a rare and powerful gift, the ability to feel the unspoken pain of others. It's as if they can hear the silent cries of those around them, even when no words are spoken. While others may smile, speak politely, or hide behind masks of composure, the chosen see beyond these facades. They sense the sorrow behind a forced laugh, the insecurity hidden beneath a facade of confidence, and the desperation veiled by an outward display of control. It is not just that they see people. They feel them on a much deeper level. They can intuitively grasp the struggles that others are too afraid to show, understanding the emotional battles that remain buried beneath the surface. This ability is not something that comes easily. It is a gift forged through the chosen one's own encounters with pain. They have faced their own battles, walked through the darkest of valleys, and endured the harshest of trials. Loneliness, betrayal, heartbreak, and despair have been their companions. But instead of allowing these experiences to break them, the chosen have emerged stronger. Through their own suffering, they have developed an uncanny sensitivity to the pain of others. Just as they recognize the burn of their own scars, they can see and feel the hidden wounds in the eyes of others, even when those people are too afraid to acknowledge them. Most people, when confronted with pain, seek ways to avoid or bury it. They distract themselves with meaningless activities, deny their suffering, or build walls to keep others from seeing their vulnerabilities. But the chosen ones do not run from their pain. They face it head-on, allowing themselves to process their darkness and learn from it. This journey through their own suffering has sharpened their ability to empathize with others, giving them a rare gift, the ability to perceive the subtle signs of distress that others might miss. Far from being a weakness, this heightened sensitivity is a tremendous strength. The chosen have learned to listen to the unspoken words, to understand the energy that surrounds a person, and to connect with others in ways that most cannot. With this gift, they can offer something that few can: true understanding. They can comfort those in pain, provide a safe space for others to open up, and offer healing in ways that go beyond words. Their presence alone can be a balm for someone's soul, simply because they truly see and feel what others are going through. While others may feel uncomfortable with their ability to read the unspoken pain of those around them, the chosen embrace it. They do not use it to manipulate or judge. Instead, they use it to connect on a deeper, more meaningful level. They understand that every person carries a burden, and they have the wisdom to offer compassion without expectation. This is what makes the chosen truly powerful: their ability to step into another's shoes, to understand their unspoken struggles, and to offer comfort and healing in a world that often overlooks the silent battles people face. Power 5. The Time Alchemist. Turning solitude into mastery. Time is an unrelenting force. It moves forward without pause, indifferent to the struggles and distractions of those caught in its current. While most people let time slip away, consumed by distractions, fleeting pleasures, and shallow pursuits, the chosen ones see time as a tool, a force they can bend to their will. They are time alchemists, capable of transforming moments of solitude into opportunities for profound growth and transformation. Where others waste time, the chosen make it their ally, turning every second into an investment in their evolution. While most people dread the silence that accompanies solitude, seeing it as boredom or emptiness, the chosen see it as fertile ground for growth. They don't fill their time with the noise of the world. Instead, they embrace the silence, using it as a space to sharpen their minds, refine their skills, and deepen their understanding. For the chosen, every moment alone is a chance to improve, to master their thoughts, emotions, and actions. They know that time, once lost, can never be regained, and they refuse to squander it. Where others waste hours on trivial distractions, the chosen harness their time to build a stronger, wiser, and more focused version of themselves. In solitude, the chosen do not merely survive, they thrive. They understand that it is in these quiet moments, away from the chaos and noise of the world, that true transformation occurs. The isolation they experience is not something to be feared, but something to be cherished. It is in these moments of stillness that they confront their own limitations and break free from the constraints of the ordinary world. They embrace the silence, knowing that it is through solitude that they gain the clarity, strength, and insight needed to rise above the crowd. And when the chosen emerge from their time alone, they are unrecognizable to those around them. The time they've spent in solitude has refined them into something unstoppable. They are no longer bound by the distractions and limitations that hold most people back. They have mastered their thoughts, their emotions, and their actions, and now they move through life with power, precision, and purpose. They no longer follow the paths that others tread. They create their own path, guided by the wisdom they've gained from their time alone. The power of the time alchemist lies in the ability to see solitude not as a void, but as a space for growth and mastery. While others may fear the quiet, the chosen use it to elevate themselves. They know that time is the most valuable resource they possess, and they treat it with the respect it deserves. Through their ability to turn solitude into strength, they become masters of time itself, and in doing so, they become unstoppable forces, moving through life with an unwavering sense of purpose. The chosen are not ordinary. They are unshaken in the face of pressure, able to see the truth behind the masks of others, and move with unyielding clarity in a world full of noise. They feel the pain of others deeply and turn their solitude into a source of unstoppable strength. They are the masters of their time, and nothing can stand in their way. If you feel different, if you feel like you were never meant to blend in with the 80%, then you are one of the chosen. Now, it's time to unlock your true potential and use your solitude to transform yourself into the unstoppable force you were always meant to be. In the shadows of unspoken truths, you stood alone. Your pain was witnessed, yet met with silence, a silence louder than words, an echo of empty promises and averted gazes. Those who should have defended you, those who vowed loyalty, choose comfort over courage. They turned away, retreating to safety while you faced the storm, stripped of allies, left to navigate the darkness on your own. They heard your cries but covered their ears. They knew the truth but sealed their lips. They watched from a distance as you struggled, hoping you would fall. Yet here you are, standing, breathing, victorious. Not because of them, but in spite of them. This triumph is yours and yours alone. Forged in resilience, tempered in solitude, polished by the very tears they pretended not to see. This moment isn't just about overcoming obstacles. It's about becoming someone unshakable. Every step you took without support, every battle you fought alone, every scar you wear with pride, each one is proof that they were never the reason for your success. You were. And now the world that watched you suffer in silence will watch you rise in undeniable power. When God calls you higher, the journey is never easy. Elevation is not a gift handed to you in comfort. It is a transformation that comes through fire. You may have wondered why you faced seasons of isolation, why familiar hands withdrew, why the very people you trusted seemed to disappear when you needed them most. But this was not rejection. It was divine selection. The first thing God does when He chooses you is separate you to protect you. That isolation you felt, it wasn't punishment. It wasn't abandonment. It was a shield. You were not left alone. You were pulled away from those who would have drained your energy, sabotaged your destiny, or diluted your purpose. There were people in your life who could not go where you were meant to go, people whose presence was a silent weight on your spirit. You may not have understood it then, but God saw what you couldn't. He saw the conversations that took place behind closed doors. He saw the silent envy in their hearts. He saw the betrayals before they happened. And in His mercy, He removed you before their presence could do irreversible damage. Next, He strips away human reliance to strengthen your faith. Every support system you once leaned on seemed to vanish. Every person you thought you could count on disappeared, and you were left standing in what felt like emptiness. But this was not by accident. It was preparation. He needed you to learn that your true source of strength was never in people, never in connections, never in external validation. It was in Him. You had to be stripped of every crutch so that you would learn to lean solely on divine provision. In your darkest hours, when no human hand reached out to steady you, you discovered a power beyond yourself, a wisdom no classroom could teach. You learned that the only foundation that could not be shaken was the one built on faith. And then He reveals your true identity. You are not ordinary. You were never meant to fit in, never meant to blend into the background. You are among the 144,000 chosen ones, not marked for ease but for transformation, not selected for comfort, but for impact. This is why the shift within you has been undeniable. The way you see the world has changed. The way you move through life has changed. And whether they admit it or not, the people around you feel it too. Have you noticed how people seem uneasy in your presence now? How does their energy shift when you walk into a room? It is not your imagination. It is spiritual reality. They sense something they cannot name, an authority upon you that they do not understand. Your existence forces them to confront their own weaknesses. Your resilience is a mirror in which they see their own compromises. Your strength exposes their stagnation, and that is why they distance themselves. But their discomfort is not your burden to carry. Their intimidation is not your failure. It is confirmation of your elevation. You were not chosen to be accepted. You were chosen to stand apart, to break cycles, to shift atmospheres, to carry something so powerful that it could not be entrusted to just anyone. And now, as you step into your true calling, Understand this. The separation was necessary. The stripping away was preparation. And the power you now carry is evidence that you have been set apart for something greater. The betrayal that shook you, the one you never saw coming, was never an accident. It was always meant to happen. Not as a punishment, but as a revelation. It was written into the story of your elevation long before it unfolded in your life. You may have questioned why it had to hurt so deeply, why those you trusted the most turned against you. But the truth is, their betrayal was never about you. It was about them. Think back to the moments of unease, the quiet warnings, the subtle instincts you brushed aside, that lingering discomfort you once dismissed as paranoia. It wasn't your mind playing tricks on you. It was divine foresight. God was whispering, preparing you for what your heart wasn't yet ready to accept. You felt the energy shift long before the masks finally fell. You saw glimpses of their true nature, but you wanted to believe otherwise. You gave them grace. You justified their actions. You held on to the illusion that they cared as deeply as you did. But the same people who smiled the widest in your presence were the ones crafting your downfall behind closed doors. The hands that reached out in support were the same hands digging pits along your path. Some betrayed you out of jealousy, others out of fear. Your growth made their stagnation unbearable. Your authenticity exposed the deception they had carefully constructed. Your light made their shadows impossible to ignore. And so, they turned against you, not because you did anything wrong, but because your very existence was a threat to the lies they lived. And for some, their betrayal went beyond whispers and deceit. Money changed hands. There were conversations you weren't privy to, deals made at your expense. Your reputation was deliberately targeted. Opportunities were blocked before you even knew they existed. This was not casual disloyalty, it was calculated, planned, coordinated. They didn't just hope you would fall. They actively worked to make it happen. But what they failed to understand is what is divinely ordained can never be humanly obstructed. They were stopping you, but they were strengthening you. Their rejection would break you, but it clarified your direction. Every scheme they plotted only positioned you for something greater. Every loss they orchestrated became fuel for your elevation. Their betrayal did not destroy you. It defined you. And now, as they watch from the sidelines, their jealousy-fueled schemes are unraveling. The alliances they built on deception are crumbling beneath them. The very traps they set for you are now catching their own feet. Because that is the law of the universe. What they sowed, they will reap. As for you, you will walk into a season of divine vindication, not by seeking revenge, not by proving them wrong, but by rising so high that their betrayal becomes irrelevant. What was meant to break you has only built you. What was designed to silence you has only amplified your voice. And what was the end of your story was merely the beginning of a chapter they were never meant to be part of. Few will ever understand the depth of what you've endured. To most, your struggles seemed like ordinary obstacles, just another set of challenges that everyone faces in life. But you know the truth. This was never just about hardship. It was about opposition. It was about forces that deliberately worked against you, people who moved in silence, plotting ways to keep you from rising. They didn't just resist you. They organized against you. There were conversations held in secret, alliances formed behind your back, deliberate attempts to suppress your voice. Every time you tried to step forward, there was resistance, too consistent, too calculated to be mere coincidence. Doors closed without reason. Opportunities disappeared before you even knew they existed. People turned on you for no logical explanation. You weren't imagining it. The moment you began walking in your true purpose, the opposition intensified. But tell me, what weapon can prosper against someone divinely shielded? What scheme can succeed against someone celestially supported? Not a single one. They underestimated the power that was backing you. They moved in secrecy, thinking their schemes would go unnoticed. They thought their numbers, their influence, their strategies would be enough to stop you. But what they failed to realize is that you were never standing alone. The same power that spoke the universe into existence is the same power that has been working on your behalf. The same God who parted the seas, who shut the mouths of lions, who raised the dead, He is the one standing behind you. They weren't just fighting against you. They were fighting against divine will. And no force, no strategy, no earthly alliance can stand against what God has ordained. And now, the tables are turning. The narrative is shifting. The storm is breaking. Everything they would destroy you has only refined you. Every attempt to silence you has only made your voice stronger. Every obstacle they placed in your way has become a stepping stone for your ascension. They spent so much time crafting your downfall that they never prepared for the possibility of your rise. But here you are, still standing, still breathing, still rising. And now, as they watch in disbelief, they will come to understand what they refused to acknowledge all along. You were never meant to be defeated. The very moment they would be your destruction has become the platform for your breakthrough. What was meant to bury you has instead planted you, and now you are growing beyond their reach. You don't need to fight them. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to seek revenge. Just keep rising. Because their resistance was never greater than God's protection. Their plans were never stronger than His purpose. And their schemes? They were never enough to stop what was already divinely written. They had taken something from you. They thought they had stripped you of what was rightfully yours and left you with nothing. But what they failed to understand is that the universe, under divine order, keeps perfect accounts. Nothing that was unjustly taken from you is ever truly lost. Nothing that was stolen will remain in the hands of those who took it. What was removed from your life, whether by force or deception, was never beyond God's reach. He saw the betrayals, the sabotage, the unfair losses. He witnessed every tear, every moment of despair when you thought you had been robbed of something you could never recover. And yet, what you thought was taken permanently is already on its way back to you, not just returned, but multiplied beyond measure. That opportunity that slipped through your fingers, it will come back tenfold. The job, the position, the dream you thought had been stolen from you, it was never truly gone. It was simply being realigned to return to you in a way that exceeds what you originally imagined. God does not restore in equal measure. He restores in overflow. That relationship that ended, the one you thought was destined to last, the one you mourned for longer than you should have. It was never meant to carry the weight of your destiny. If it had stayed, it would have hindered your growth. If they had remained, they would have become a limitation rather than a blessing. God does not remove people from your life without reason. If they walked away, if they betrayed you, if the bond dissolved, it was because He saw something you couldn't, and what He has prepared for you in the future will make you realize why that chapter had to close. That door that shut so abruptly, it wasn't rejection, it was redirection. You may have questioned why certain paths were blocked, why you faced so many obstacles, why no matter how hard you pushed, nothing seemed to work. But what if I told you that God was not keeping something from you, but preparing something for you? The delay was divine. The redirection was intentional. The setback was never a denial. It was a setup for something greater. But what they didn't realize is that in trying to steal from you, they only sealed their own fate. What they thought was your loss has become your gain. What they meant for harm has become fuel for your rise. This is not the end. This is the beginning. A new season is unfolding before you, one where restoration comes not in equal measure, but in abundance. One where what was stolen is returned in ways that leave no doubt about divine intervention. One where every tear you cried becomes the foundation for a future so great, it will silence every voice that ever doubted you. Keep moving forward, because what is meant for you can never truly be lost. It is simply waiting to return, multiplied, magnified, and more powerful than before. Listen carefully. You must forgive, not for them, not because they deserve it, not because what they did was excusable. You must forgive because you deserve to be free. Holding on to resentment is like carrying a heavy chain, one that keeps you tethered to the very people who sought to harm you. The longer you hold on, the more they remain connected to your spirit. Their actions may be in the past, but as long as you keep replaying the pain, their influence lingers in your present. Unforgiveness is not a punishment for them. It is a prison for you. But here's the truth. You were never meant to be bound by pain. Forgiveness does not mean excusing what they did. It does not mean pretending that it didn't hurt. It does not mean giving them another place in your life. It means cutting the cord. It means reclaiming your energy, your peace, and your future. Because as long as bitterness remains, it poisons everything it touches. It clouds your vision. It steals your joy. It keeps you from fully embracing what is ahead. But when you forgive, you take back your power. You are not erasing the past. You are choosing to stop letting it define you. You are not letting them off the hook. You are simply refusing to let their actions control your emotions any longer. They will answer for what they've done. The universe will balance the scales. Justice will come in its own time, in its own way. That is not your burden to carry. Your only task is to move forward. And moving forward means leaving their weight behind. It means walking into your future without dragging the chains of yesterday. It means choosing healing over hatred, peace over pain, and freedom over the illusion of control. Forgiveness is not a gift you give to them. It is a gift you give to yourself. So let it go because you do. Let it rise, not in arrogance, but in assurance. Rise, not in vengeance, but in vision. Rise, not in bitterness, but in boldness. Because the world is waiting, and you have work to do. Thank you for watching until the very end. Your journey is just beginning, and we're walking it together. If this message spoke to you, like this video, subscribe, and join this growing community of warriors. Let's rise together, stronger, bolder, and unstoppable. See you in the next one. Beloved chosen one, the moment you have long felt in your soul has arrived. No longer do you need to question why you have always felt different, why the world's rules never seemed to apply to you, why the paths others walked with ease never felt like yours to take. Deep within, you have always known. You were never meant to belong to this world. The systems, the structures, the expectations placed upon you, they were all illusions meant to keep you confined. Yet despite every attempt to shape you into something ordinary, your spirit has remained unshaken. And now, the veil is lifting. The truth is emerging. Your real family has come to find you. They have always been there, watching, guiding, waiting for the moment you would awaken to your true destiny. That moment is now. You were never meant to live an ordinary life. You were meant for greatness. Your path was never like others. It was divinely designed, crafted by the hands of a power greater than this world. It is time to reclaim your place, to embrace the truth of who you are, and to walk into the life you are always destined to live. Chapter 1. The signs you have always known. From the moment you became aware of the world around you, something felt different. It wasn't just a fleeting thought or a passing feeling. It was a deep, unshakable knowing that you did not quite belong in the way others seemed to. While those around you moved through life effortlessly, following the unspoken rules of society, you felt like an observer, watching a world that never fully resonated with your soul. You sensed that something far greater existed beyond what was presented to you. As a child, you often found yourself lost in thought, questioning the very nature of reality. Why did people accept things the way they were? Why did they follow rules without questioning who created them? Why did they live in fear of failure, of judgment, of stepping beyond the lines drawn for them? You saw the cracks in the foundation of the world's systems. You noticed how people willingly surrendered their freedom in exchange for comfort, how they followed paths dictated by others without ever daring to forge their own. But you refused. You tried to fit in, to silence that voice inside you that told you there was more. But no matter how hard you tried, it never worked. The conversations around you felt shallow. The ambitions of others seemed empty. While people chased after material success, status, and approval, you longed for something deeper, something eternal. You searched for meaning in ways that others could not understand. There were moments when you felt isolated, wondering if anyone else could sense what you sensed, if anyone else saw beyond the illusion. But even in those lonely moments, your spirit could not be silenced. In the quiet hours of the night, when the world was asleep, your soul stirred. In the spaces between words, in the pauses between breaths, you felt the truth whispering to you. You are more than this. You were meant for something greater. And now, at last, that deep knowing is being confirmed. The questions that have followed you for so long, the quiet urges of your soul, the persistent feeling that you were destined for something beyond this world, they were never wrong. You were never imagining things. You were never lost. You were always awake. Chapter 2. The moment of transformation. Have you ever witnessed a moment when someone who once seemed unshakable, so sure of themselves, so unwavering in their beliefs, suddenly hesitates? A soldier trained for battle, conditioned to react without fear, yet in a critical moment, their hands tremble. A leader, once moving with unbreakable confidence, now questions the very decisions they once made without doubt. A figure of power and certainty, suddenly uncertain. What could cause such a profound shift? What force is great enough to disrupt years, perhaps even a lifetime of conditioning? It happens when they encounter something greater than themselves. This is the moment when everything changes. It is the breaking point between who they were and who they are meant to become. It is the moment when the weight of truth becomes undeniable, when the veil of illusion is torn away, revealing what was hidden all along. King Saul knew this moment well. Chosen by God to lead Israel, he commanded with authority, making decisions that shaped the fate of a nation. He was strong, respected, and anointed for greatness. Yet, when he turned away from divine guidance, his power began to fade. His confidence eroded, his decisions faltered, and his spirit grew restless. The prophet Samuel rebuked him with words that cut deeper than any sword. To obey is better than sacrifice, for rebellion is as the sin of divination, and arrogance like the evil of idolatry. Saul had been trained to rule, but when confronted with the will of God, he realized his power was nothing without obedience. He had relied on his own understanding, his own strength, but the very foundation upon which he had built his life began to crumble. How often do we find ourselves in the same position? We trust in what we've been taught, in the skills and knowledge we've accumulated, believing they will carry us forward. But what happens when we are faced with something beyond the scope of our understanding? What happens when we realize that everything we've relied on has only prepared us for one final lesson, that there is something higher than all we have known? Moses, too, faced hesitation before his divine mission. He stood before the burning bush, trembling at the thought of confronting Pharaoh. "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt?" he asked. The doubt crept in, the hesitation held him back. But God's response was simple, powerful, and absolute. "I will be with you." Even Jesus, the Son of God, knew this moment of hesitation. In the Garden of Gethsemane, the weight of the path before him bore down upon his soul. The suffering, the sacrifice, it was overwhelming. And so, he prayed, "Father, if you are willing, take this cup from me. Yet not my will, but yours be done." It was not weakness. It was the human soul standing before the divine will, trembling at the enormity of what lay ahead. And now, it is happening to you. You are standing at the threshold of transformation. The old ways, the old beliefs, the old self, they are falling away. The hesitation you feel is not fear. It is the weight of the calling that has been placed upon you. You are being asked to step beyond what you have known, to release the safety of familiarity, and to embrace the path laid before you. Chapter 3. The truth that shatters illusions. The world is not what it seems. The systems that govern it, the structures that shape it, the rulers who claim power over it, none of them hold the authority they believe they do. For centuries, they have built illusions of control, designing institutions, laws, and ideologies meant to shape the minds of the masses. They dictate what is possible and what is not, who will rise and who will fall, who will be heard and who will be silenced. And yet, beneath their carefully constructed world, truth has never been bound by their rules. There is a reason they work so hard to maintain their control. They know that power is fragile, that their influence is only as strong as the belief of those who submit to it. The moment people awaken to the truth, the illusion crumbles. That is why they fear those who cannot be controlled, those whose eyes have been opened, those who see beyond the veil of deception. Think of David standing before Goliath. The world saw a boy small, unarmed, untrained. Goliath, a giant of war, stood towering over him, clad in armor, holding weapons forged for battle. By every earthly standard, David did not stand a chance. But David knew something that Goliath did not. He did not fight with swords or shields. His strength did not come from the weapons of men. Instead, he declared, "You come against me with sword and spear, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty." And with a single stone, the giant fell. This is the truth they do not want you to know. The real power has never belonged to them. It has always belonged to those who walk in faith, to those who understand that divine strength is greater than anything man can build. The same power that was with David is with you. It is the power that delivered Moses, the man who stood against Pharaoh and led his people to freedom. The power that sustained Jesus, who bore the weight of the cross yet conquered death itself. The power that freed Nelson Mandela after 27 years of imprisonment, transforming a prisoner into a president, a symbol of oppression into a symbol of hope. This power is moving through you right now, and that is why they fear you. The world does not understand those who refuse to be controlled. It cannot predict those who do not submit to its rules. So, it seeks to silence them. It buries their names, erases their history, rewrites their stories. It brands them as outcasts, rebels, threats to stability. Because the moment people see the truth, the moment they recognize that they were never truly bound, the entire system collapses. But here is the question. What happens when the thing they tried to suppress refuses to stay hidden? What happens when the voices they silenced begin to rise again? What happens when the truth they buried pushes through the cracks, breaking the foundation of their illusion? They have spent their existence ensuring that the world follows a script, that people stay within the roles assigned to them. But you were never meant to follow their script. They cannot control you. They cannot contain you, and that terrifies them. The giant before you is nothing but a shadow. And just like David, you are armed with something greater than any weapon this world can create. Chapter 4. The Rise of the Chosen Ones. Throughout history, there have always been those who refused to be controlled, those who stood against the forces of oppression, who defied the expectations placed upon them, who refused to surrender to fear. They were not the strongest by worldly standards, nor were they always the most powerful in the eyes of men. But they carried something far greater, an unshakable spirit, a divine calling, and a truth that could not be silenced. Rosa Parks was just one woman, seated on a bus, in a world that told her she had no right to stand against injustice. But with a single act of defiance, refusing to give up her seat, she ignited a revolution. The system had told her she was powerless, yet her courage shattered the illusion of control. The ripple effect of her resistance reached far beyond that moment, proving that when even one person refuses to bow, the entire foundation of oppression begins to shake. Mahatma Gandhi did not fight with weapons. He did not raise an army. Instead, he stood in unwavering truth, choosing nonviolent resistance against the greatest empire of his time. He was beaten, imprisoned, mocked, but he did not break. Through his unrelenting faith and determination, the chains of British rule over India were shattered. The world told him that power belonged to the oppressors, but Gandhi proved that true power comes from the soul that refuses to be conquered. And then there was Jesus Christ, the greatest of them all. He was rejected by the world, mocked by the powerful, and crucified as though he was nothing. But those who sought to destroy him did not understand who they were trying to silence. They believed that nailing him to a cross would be the end of his story. But on the third day, he rose again. He overcame death itself, proving that no force in heaven or on earth could hold him down. And now, it is your turn. You have always known that you do not belong to this world in the way others do. You were never meant to blend in, to be just another part of a broken system. You were meant to rise above it. The forces of this world will tell you that you must obey, that you must conform, that you must accept their version of reality. But that is the greatest lie ever told. You were not created to fit into their mold. You were created to break it. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. You were born to be unstoppable. The world may try to contain you, but it cannot. The systems of control may try to silence you, but your voice will only grow louder. The forces of darkness may try to chain you, but you will break free. The rise of the chosen ones has begun, and nothing can stand in your way. This is the moment where everything changes. The hesitation is over. The waiting has ended. The truth has been revealed, and now your spirit stirs with certainty. You have always known there was something greater, a higher calling, a deeper truth, a purpose waiting to be fulfilled. Now, that moment has arrived. Your true home awaits. Your real family is here. Your destiny is calling, and heaven itself rejoices as you step forward. You were never meant to walk alone. The chosen ones rise together, bound not by the system. It is no coincidence that you are here. God has led you to this very moment, and you cannot afford to ignore it. Right now, you are standing at the crossroads of your breakthrough. Everything you have prayed for, everything you have dreamed of, is within your reach. But there is something God is asking of you, something that will shift everything in your life. This is not just another message. It is a divine instruction meant to unlock the doors to your destiny. God is saying, put this under your pillow now. No excuses, no delays, no questions. Just do it. This simple yet sacred act is the key to unlocking the life you have been waiting for, the financial freedom, the love you have been searching for, the restoration you need, and the peace your soul longs for. Everything is already aligning in your favor, but first, you must take this step of faith. Before we dive into this life-changing revelation, pause for a moment and do these things. Like and subscribe to confirm your faith. Comment the number 99 as a signal to the universe, amplifying your manifestation. This is your confirmation. If you are truly one of the chosen ones, you will stay until the end, because deep down, your spirit already knows this message is for you. If you are not ready, you may click away, but for those who remain, your life is about to change in ways you never imagined. Right now, in this very moment, God is speaking directly to you. This is not just another day, another message, or another passing thought. This is a divine appointment, a sacred moment where the heavens are aligning to bring you closer to your breakthrough. The struggles you have faced, the silent battles you have fought, and the prayers you have whispered in the darkness have all led to this point. Nothing in your life has been a coincidence. Every tear, every setback, and every unanswered question has been preparing you for the shift that is about to take place. Have you ever felt like something was missing? Like you were meant for more but kept hitting invisible walls? That is because God has been preparing you, strengthening you for the moment when everything will finally fall into place. And that moment is now. The waiting is over. The door that once seemed locked is about to swing wide open. The financial breakthrough you have been longing for, the love you have been searching for, the healing you desperately need is all within reach. But first, God is asking you to take a step of faith. This is your divine instruction. Write down your desires, place them under your pillow, and trust in God's perfect timing. This is not a ritual, nor is it a simple wish. It is a declaration of faith, an act of surrender, and a signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. By doing this, you are aligning yourself with divine power, stepping into a flow of blessings that have been waiting for you all along. You may have questioned whether your prayers were heard, whether your dreams were even possible. But today, God is answering. He is telling you, do not be afraid, do not doubt. Your time is now. The struggles of the past are coming to an end, and a new season of abundance, restoration, and joy is beginning. The only question is, are you ready to receive it? There is a simple, yet powerful action that God is calling you to take, an act of faith that will open the doors to your breakthrough. This is not just another practice or routine. It is a sacred manifestation technique designed to align your heart, mind, and spirit with divine abundance. If you have been longing for change, praying for a miracle, or waiting for a sign, this is it. Now is the time to take action. Here's what you must do. Take a clean sheet of paper and write down every dream, every goal, and every desire that has been placed in your heart. Do not hold back. Be specific. Write as though these things have already come to pass, as though they are already yours. There is power in your words, and when you declare your desires with faith, you activate a divine force that sets everything in motion. Once you have written your desires, turn the paper over and write the number 1111 on the back. This number is not random. It is a spiritual code, a signal to the universe and to God that you are stepping into alignment with your destiny. Next, take the paper and place it under your pillow before you sleep. As you lay down, release every worry, every doubt, and every fear. Surrender completely, trusting that God is already working on your behalf. This simple yet profound act is more than just writing on a page. It is a declaration of faith, a commitment to believe in the promises God has for you. As you sleep, the spiritual realm will move on your behalf. Doors will begin to open, opportunities will arise, and you will start to see signs that your manifestation is unfolding. The moment you place your desires under your pillow, you are telling the universe, I am ready. I trust in divine timing. I believe in the power of God's promises. And when faith meets action, miracles happen. The number 1111 is not just a sequence of digits. It is a divine code, a powerful signal from the universe, and a direct confirmation that your desires are aligning with God's perfect plan. If you have been seeing 1111 repeatedly, it is not a coincidence. It is a message from the spiritual realm, urging you to step into faith and claim the blessings that are waiting for you. This number represents manifestation, divine alignment, and new beginnings. It is a gateway between the physical and spiritual worlds, a reminder that everything you have prayed for is now within reach. When you write 1111 on the back of your manifestation paper, you are activating a spiritual frequency that amplifies your desires. This number carries the energy of divine synchronicity, meaning that the universe is working behind the scenes to bring everything together for your good. It is a sign that God is listening, that your prayers have been heard, and that miracles are already in motion. Think of 1111 as a key that unlocks the doors to your destiny. When you see it, take it as confirmation that you are on the right path, that the timing is right, and that divine forces are aligning to help you receive the blessings you have been waiting for. Whether it's financial breakthrough, love, healing, or success, writing 1111 is your way of declaring, "I am ready to receive." There is something deeply sacred about praying at 3 a.m. It is the hour of divine connection, a moment when the world is silent, distractions fade, and the spiritual realm is most active. While others sleep, this is your opportunity to align your spirit with God, to step into a supernatural flow of blessings, and to release your deepest desires into the universe. Praying at this hour is not just a routine, it is a spiritual awakening, a time when your faith is amplified, and the heavens are open to receive your prayers. At 3 a.m., the presence of God is strong, and the connection between the physical and spiritual worlds is heightened. This is why miracles, breakthroughs, and divine revelations often happen in the stillness of the night. When you wake up and pray during this time, you are showing your unwavering faith. You are making a bold statement to God and the universe that you are ready to receive the blessings you have been waiting for. Here's how to harness the power of the 3 a.m. prayer. Wake up and take the manifestation paper from under your pillow. Hold it in your hands and read your desires aloud, not as a request, but as a declaration, believing that they are already yours. Pray with conviction, thank God in advance, and visualize your dreams coming true. Let your words be filled with faith, knowing that God is already working behind the scenes to make it happen. When you commit to praying at 3 a.m., you unlock a divine frequency that accelerates your manifestations. You will begin to notice subtle but powerful changes, unexpected opportunities, sudden breakthroughs, and signs that your desires are unfolding before your eyes. This is the hour of miracles, and if you trust in its power, you will witness the impossible becoming possible. The moment you take action writing down your desires, placing them under your pillow, and praying at 3 a.m., something powerful begins to shift. You may not see everything happen instantly, but pay close attention, because the universe will start sending you signs that your manifestation is in motion. On the first day, you might feel a newfound sense of peace, as if a burden has been lifted from your shoulders. This is not your imagination. It is a confirmation that God has heard your prayers and is working behind the scenes to bring them to life. You may experience sudden moments of clarity, unexpected messages from people you haven't heard from in a long time, or even small but significant financial breakthroughs. These are not coincidences. They are the first signs that your desires are aligning with divine timing. People who once hurt you may begin to feel the weight of their actions, and some may even reach out in ways you never expected. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach will start to appear, and obstacles that once blocked your path will begin to clear. You might even notice repeated angel numbers, dreams with deeper meaning, or an inner knowing that something incredible is about to happen. The first day is just the beginning. This is the moment when the shift begins, a transformation that will lead you toward the life you have been praying for. Trust the process, keep your faith strong, and be prepared for the blessings that are already making their way to you. Your miracle is closer than you think. If you have been struggling financially, feeling trapped in a cycle of lack, or wondering when your breakthrough will arrive, know this: your season of abundance is near. God has seen your efforts, heard your prayers, and knows the weight of your burdens. The financial breakthrough you have been waiting for is already in motion, but it requires one thing from you: faith in action. Money is not something you should chase. Instead, it is something that is attracted to you when you align yourself with divine provision. When you wrote down your desires, placed them under your pillow, and committed to praying at 3 a.m., you activated a powerful spiritual law. This act of faith signaled to God and the universe that you are ready to receive the wealth and prosperity that have always been meant for you. In the coming days, expect unexpected financial opportunities, a sudden increase in income, a business idea, a chance encounter, or a door that was once closed suddenly opening. You may receive money from a source you never anticipated, debts may start to clear, or you might find yourself stepping into a new level of financial wisdom and discipline. But here's the key. Believe that your financial freedom is already here. Speak abundance over your life. Stop seeing yourself as someone who lacks, and start seeing yourself as someone who is blessed, favored, and financially secure. When you change your mindset and trust that God is your provider, wealth will flow to you effortlessly. This is your time. Your financial breakthrough is not coming, it is already here. If you have been longing for love, feeling heartbroken, or wondering if you will ever find the deep, soul-fulfilling connection you desire, know this: true love is already making its way to you. God has not forgotten you, and He has not overlooked your desire for a love that is pure, unwavering, and divinely ordained. The loneliness, the past disappointments, and the relationships that left you broken were never meant to define you. They were simply preparing you for something greater. In the coming days, expect signs and synchronicities, a chance meeting, a reconnection with someone from your past, or even an internal shift where you feel more confident, whole, and prepared for love. But most importantly, open your heart and trust that God is leading you toward the relationship that is best for you. True love is not something you chase. It is something you attract when you are aligned with your divine purpose. Let go of past wounds, embrace the love God has for you, and trust that the partner you have been waiting for is already on their way. This message is not just for anyone, it is for the chosen ones. If you have read this far, you are one of them. God is calling you to take action. Will you listen? Will you trust? Will you step into your divine inheritance? The power to change your life is in your hands. Follow these steps, take the leap of faith, and watch as God opens the floodgates of miracles in your life. Your breakthrough is here. Your dreams are manifesting. Your time is now. If you believe this message is for you, drop a 99 in the comments and let the universe know that you are ready to receive. Watch what happens next. There are no coincidences in this life. If you're watching this right now, it's not by accident. Something greater than yourself has brought you to this exact moment. God has a message for you, one that will shift everything you thought you knew about your life, your purpose, and your destiny. Tonight is unlike any other night. This is not just another moment in time. It is a divine appointment, a pivotal moment in your journey. Everything you have gone through has prepared you for this very second. The struggles, the setbacks, the silent prayers whispered into the night, they have all led to this breakthrough. There is a powerful energy moving right now, orchestrated by the hand of God Himself. The universe is shifting, aligning, preparing to open doors you never imagined possible. But there's something you must do first. You must be ready. You must be awake. You must be willing to take the final step into the transformation waiting for you. Before we dive in, take a moment. Breathe. Feel the weight of this moment. Now, to signal your readiness to the divine forces moving in your favor, like and subscribe. Comment 99. This simple action tells the universe, I am ready to receive. When you take these steps, you are not just engaging with a video. You are activating the energy within you, opening yourself up to the miracles waiting to unfold. Stay with me until the end, because this message is for you. And if you truly are a chosen one, something deep inside you already knows it. There comes a time in every person's life when everything shifts, a moment so profound that it changes the course of destiny forever. That moment is here for you. This is not just another ordinary night. It is a divine appointment, a sacred opportunity for breakthrough and renewal. You are standing at the threshold of something extraordinary, a transformation so powerful that it will redefine your life, your purpose, and your future. The struggles you have faced, The battles you have fought and the moments of doubt that once held you back have all been leading to this very moment. Can you feel it? The energy is shifting, aligning perfectly in your favor. Every delay, every challenge, every closed door was never a rejection. It was a redirection, a preparation for something far greater. Tonight marks the end of stagnation and the beginning of acceleration. You are stepping into a season where prayers turn into reality, where dreams that once seemed impossible begin to unfold right before your eyes. The weight you have carried, the burdens that have exhausted your spirit, are about to be lifted as divine intervention takes place. This is the moment when you rise above fear, above doubt, above every limitation that has tried to keep you from stepping into your highest calling. The universe has heard your silent prayers, seen your hidden struggles, and felt the intensity of your longing for change. And now, the response is here. Doors you never imagined would open are about to be unlocked. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach are now within your grasp. The right people, the right circumstances, and the divine timing of everything in your life are coming together in perfect harmony. You have been chosen for this transformation. It is not a coincidence that you are here, reading these words. Deep down, you already know this is your time. Something inside you has been stirring, whispering that you are meant for more, that the life you desire is not a distant dream, but a reality waiting to be claimed. Now is the time to step forward with unwavering faith, to release the fear, the hesitation, and the doubts that have kept you in the shadows for too long. Your breakthrough does not require perfection, only readiness. The world is waiting to see you step into the fullness of who you were created to be. Your transformation will not just be a change in circumstances, but a complete shift in your spirit, your confidence, and your vision for the future. Everything you have endured has shaped you into someone stronger, wiser, and ready for the abundance that is about to flow into your life. So embrace this moment with open arms, because your transformation is here. The journey begins now, and the life you were always meant to live is unfolding before you. Everything in your life, every triumph, every challenge, every detour has led you to this very moment. You are not here by chance. You are not wandering without direction. You have been divinely guided, placed exactly where you need to be, preparing to step fully into the purpose for which you were created. There is a reason your heart has felt restless, searching for something greater. That feeling is not emptiness. It is a calling. It is the voice of God stirring within you, urging you to rise, to embrace the destiny that has been waiting for you all along. There is a divine blueprint for your life, a sacred plan designed with intention and love. Every delay, every closed door, and every moment of uncertainty was never meant to discourage you but to prepare you. The struggles that once felt like setbacks were actually setting you up for something greater. You were never being held back. You were being refined, strengthened, and molded into the person who is now ready to step into divine alignment. Your purpose has always been within you, waiting for the right moment to be activated. That moment is now. Look around you. Feel the shift happening in your spirit. The signs are everywhere. What once felt out of reach is now drawing closer. The dreams you once doubted are proving to be more than just wishes. They are divine visions placed in your heart by God Himself. And if He planted them within you, it means they are meant to come to life. You were never meant to live a life of limitation, fear, or uncertainty. You were created to walk in power, in confidence, and in purpose. The universe is now aligning in your favor, moving obstacles out of your way, connecting you with the right people, and opening doors that no one can shut. But here's the truth. This transformation requires you to step forward. You cannot wait on the sidelines, hoping things will change. You must claim it. You must believe it. You must walk boldly in the direction God is leading you. Divine purpose is not passive. It is active. It is a commitment to trust the process, to let go of fear, and to embrace the extraordinary path that is unfolding before you. This is your moment. You are no longer lost, no longer searching, no longer waiting for validation. You are aligned. The power within you is awakening, and the world is about to see you step into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. The time for hesitation is over. The time for doubt is gone. Stand tall, breathe deep, and embrace this truth. You are aligned with divine purpose, and nothing can stop what God has set in motion. There is a profound shift happening in your life at this very moment. The dreams that once seemed distant, the prayers that felt unanswered, and the desires you have carried in your heart are no longer just possibilities. They are becoming reality. Manifestation is now yours. Everything you have been believing for, everything you have been working toward, is aligning with divine timing. The universe is responding to your energy, your faith, and your readiness to receive. The delay is over. The obstacles are being removed. What you have longed for is now within your reach. Manifestation is not just about wishing. It is about aligning your mind, spirit, and actions with the reality you want to create. It is about stepping boldly into the belief that you are deserving of the life you have envisioned. When you shift your mindset from doubt to faith, from fear to confidence, from lack to abundance, you activate a divine force that moves mountains on your behalf. What you speak, what you focus on, and what you expect all have the power to shape your future. And now, that power is fully awakened within you. Can you feel it? The energy surrounding you is changing. Doors that were once closed are opening effortlessly. Opportunities that once seemed impossible are making their way to you. The right people, the right circumstances, and the right moments are coming together in divine orchestration. This is not luck. This is not a coincidence. This is the law of manifestation in action. God's promise that what you seek with faith will come to pass. The visions placed in your heart were never random. They were divine assignments, waiting for you to step into them with boldness and belief. Now is the time to speak life over your dreams. Declare with unwavering certainty that success, love, health, and abundance are already yours. See it. Feel it. Walk as if it is already done. Because the moment you truly believe, the universe has no choice but to respond in kind. The doubts that once held you back are dissolving. The fears that kept you stuck are fading away. You are stepping into a realm of unlimited possibilities where miracles are your new normal. The power to manifest is now fully in your hands. This is not a fleeting moment. This is a permanent transformation. The person you were before, full of hesitation and uncertainty, is gone. You are now a magnet for blessings, attracting abundance in every form. The life you desire is no longer a distant dream. It is unfolding before your very eyes. Trust it. Embrace it. Walk boldly into it. Manifestation is now yours, and nothing can stand in your way. You were never meant to struggle through life, merely surviving from one day to the next. You were created for more, for abundance, joy, and fulfillment in every aspect of your existence. Abundance is not reserved for a select few. It is not a matter of luck or chance. It is your birthright. You were designed to live in a state of overflowing blessings, where opportunities, success, love, and prosperity flow freely into your life. Everything you need to thrive has already been set in motion for you, waiting for you to step into it with confidence and faith. For too long, you may have believed that abundance was something you had to chase, something that always felt just out of reach. But the truth is, abundance has been pursuing you all along. The moment you shift your mindset from scarcity to gratitude, from fear to faith, you unlock the divine flow of prosperity that was meant for you all along. You do not have to earn it. You only have to receive it. The doors to financial breakthroughs, career success, meaningful relationships, and vibrant health are already open. You only need to walk through them. Abundance is not just about wealth. It is about richness in all areas of life. It is waking up every morning with a heart full of peace, knowing that you are exactly where you need to be. It is attracting the right people, the right opportunities, and the right circumstances effortlessly because you are in perfect alignment with your divine purpose. It is experiencing love, joy, and fulfillment beyond what you ever imagined. You were never meant to live in lack. You were meant to thrive. Right now, at this very moment, the universe is responding to your energy. The more you believe in your worthiness, the more you will see abundance flow into your life. It is not a question of whether abundance is possible for you. It is a question of whether you are ready to accept it. Let go of the limiting beliefs that tell you you're not enough. Release the doubts that whisper you're not worthy. Step boldly into the truth that you are deserving of every blessing that comes your way. The time for waiting is over. You are stepping into a season of overflow. Opportunities will chase you down. Financial breakthroughs will find you. Doors that were once closed will swing open effortlessly. Relationships will flourish. Your health will be restored. The success you once dreamed of will become your reality. You were not born for a life of struggle. You were born for abundance. And now, it is yours to claim. Walk forward with confidence, knowing that you are stepping into the life you were always meant to live. Abundance is your birthright, and nothing can take it away from you. As we close, I need you to understand one thing. This is not a passive moment. This is not a time to sit back and wait. This is your activation. This is your defining moment. If you are ready to step into the life God has prepared for you, claim it now. Declare it in the comments. Type, "I am ready," and seal this moment in faith. The universe has aligned. God has spoken. Now, the choice is yours. Are you ready to walk into your destiny? Because tonight, everything changes. God's calling upon your life is a sacred and profound journey, one that requires dedication, faith, and obedience. As a chosen one, you are set apart to fulfill a divine mission, one that may not always align with the people, places, and circumstances of your past. Walking away from friends and family can be one of the most difficult aspects of this calling, yet it is often necessary for spiritual growth, refinement, and the fulfillment of God's divine purpose in your life. This is not about abandoning love or responsibility. Rather, it is about recognizing when certain relationships are hindering your journey instead of helping it. Throughout history, God's chosen ones, Joseph, Abraham, Moses, Elijah, Jesus all experienced seasons of separation before stepping into their divine destiny. If you find yourself at a crossroads, sensing the need to step away from familiar people and places, know that you are not alone. This is a season of divine preparation, one where God removes distractions and negative influences so that you can focus entirely on His will for your life. Let's explore why separation is necessary, what the Bible teaches about it, and how you can embrace this journey with faith and confidence. When God places a divine assignment upon your life, it is not meant to be shared with just anyone. The path of the chosen is often met with resistance, and not everyone around you will understand or support the vision that God has given you. Some may doubt you, others may try to discourage you, and there will even be those who, knowingly or unknowingly, seek to sabotage the very destiny that God has planned for you. This is why separation is sometimes necessary. It is a divine act of protection, ensuring that the purpose God has set for you is not hindered or destroyed. One of the most striking examples of this in the Bible is the story of Joseph. A young dreamer, Joseph received revelations from God about his future greatness, but in his innocence, he shared these dreams with his brothers, expecting excitement or support. Instead, his words ignited jealousy and hatred in their hearts. Genesis 37:5-8 recounts this moment. Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him all the more. "Do you intend to reign over us? Will you actually rule us?" And they hated him all the more because of his dream and what he had said. What should have been a moment of inspiration became a turning point of betrayal. Joseph's own brothers, his own flesh and blood, allowed envy to consume them, plotting not only to silence him, but to end his life. They cast him into a pit, later selling him into slavery, setting off a series of painful events that would eventually lead to his destiny being fulfilled in Egypt. Had Joseph remained in that toxic environment, he might never have reached the heights God had planned for him. His journey through slavery, false accusations, and imprisonment may have seemed like suffering at the time, but in reality, it was God's way of positioning him for greatness. This teaches us an essential lesson. Not everyone in your life is meant to hear your vision. Some people, rather than supporting your calling, will attempt to discredit or discourage you. Jealousy and resentment can turn even the closest relationships into obstacles that stand in the way of God's plan. The Bible warns us that the heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure, meaning that even those who claim to love us can be swayed by their own insecurities, doubts, and fears. When God calls you to something greater, He may also call you away from certain people, places, and situations. This is not rejection. It is divine protection. It may be painful to walk away from relationships that once felt familiar and comforting, but staying in an environment of doubt, negativity, and opposition can delay or even derail the fulfillment of your purpose. Like Joseph, you may have to endure seasons of separation, discomfort, and even betrayal before stepping into your God-ordained destiny. God's plan for your life is far too important to be left vulnerable to the wrong influences. When He begins to separate you from certain people, trust that it is for your good. What feels like loss is actually preparation for elevation. If Joseph had remained in his father's house, surrounded by jealous brothers, he would never have risen to become a ruler in Egypt and a savior during the famine. In the same way, the separation you experience today may be the very thing that leads you to your divine purpose tomorrow. Therefore, guard your vision carefully. Pray for discernment about whom to share your dreams with, and trust God when He leads you away from those who do not align with His plans for your life. Separation is often the beginning of transformation. Embrace it with faith, knowing that God is guiding you toward something far greater than you can imagine. There are moments in life when God calls His chosen ones to leave behind everything familiar to embrace something new. This transition is often uncomfortable, even painful, but it is necessary for growth, transformation, and the fulfillment of His divine plan. Walking away from your past is not about abandoning your identity. It is about stepping into the greater purpose that God has designed for you. Sometimes, the environment you are in is limiting your potential, and God must remove you from it in order to elevate you. A powerful biblical example of this is found in the story of Abraham. In Genesis 12:1, God spoke directly to him, saying, "Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you." This was a call to step into the unknown, to leave behind the security of his homeland, his family, and everything that was familiar. God did not even reveal the exact destination. He simply commanded Abraham to trust and follow. This was a test of faith, one that required Abraham to let go of the past in order to receive the promises of the future. His obedience led to generational blessings, establishing him as the father of many nations. If he had refused to leave, he would have missed out on the divine covenant that God had prepared for him. God still calls His chosen ones to leave behind certain relationships, environments, or situations in order to position them for something greater. There are several reasons why God may call you to separate from your past for a new beginning. Your current environment may be limiting your growth. Sometimes the people and places around you keep you trapped in small thinking, old habits, or patterns that prevent you from stepping into the fullness of who God has called you to be. If your surroundings do not challenge or inspire you to grow spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, then God may remove you from that place so He can stretch your faith and lead you into something greater. Certain relationships hold you back. Some people are only meant to be part of your life for a season. While they may have once been supportive or comforting, they may no longer align with the direction God is leading you. Holding on to relationships that are not in alignment with your destiny can delay or even block the blessings that God has prepared for you. New beginnings require stepping into the unknown. God often calls His chosen ones into situations where the path is unclear, forcing them to rely on faith rather than sight. This is not meant to instill fear, but to develop a deeper dependence on Him. He will never call you away from something without having a greater purpose in mind. Though stepping into a new beginning may feel daunting, It is important to trust the process. God never removes something from your life without a reason. Just as He guided Abraham, He will guide you, provide for you, and bless you abundantly when you step forward in faith. What seems like loss today is often the doorway to a future filled with purpose, abundance, and divine favor. Let go of the past, embrace the unknown, and allow God to lead you into the destiny He has prepared for you. Every chosen one must go through a season of refinement, a period where God removes distractions, builds character, and strengthens faith. This process is not always easy, but it is necessary to prepare you for the divine assignment ahead. Refinement is God's way of shaping you into the person He needs you to be, ensuring that you are spiritually, mentally, and emotionally equipped for His purpose. One of the greatest biblical examples of refinement is Jesus' time in the wilderness. Before He began His ministry, the Holy Spirit led Him into the wilderness for 40 days of fasting and testing. This was not a punishment, but a period of divine preparation. During this time, Jesus experienced isolation from the world's influences. He was separated from people and worldly distractions so that He could focus solely on God. Testing through temptations, Satan tried to lure Him away from His mission by offering shortcuts to power and glory, but Jesus resisted by standing firm in the Word of God, strengthening for the mission ahead. After this season of refinement, Jesus emerged stronger, empowered by the Holy Spirit, and fully prepared to fulfill His divine calling. This wilderness experience teaches us an important truth. God uses seasons of isolation and trials to refine His chosen ones. When God sets you apart, it may feel like you are being stripped of everything familiar, friends, comfort, security, but He is actually removing the things that could hinder your growth. It is in the wilderness that faith is tested, weaknesses are exposed, and dependence on God deepens. The refinement process serves several key purposes. God removes distractions so you can hear Him clearly. Often we are too preoccupied with the noise of the world to hear God's voice. In seasons of refinement, God separates us from unnecessary distractions so that we can develop a deeper, more intimate relationship with Him. Trials test and strengthen your faith. Just as gold is refined by fire to remove impurities, God allows trials to purify and strengthen our faith. James 1:2-4 says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." Isolation helps you grow in spiritual discipline and intimacy with God. When you are removed from certain people and environments, you have the opportunity to seek God without interference. This is a time to deepen your prayer life, study the Word, and allow God to transform your heart. Though refinement may feel uncomfortable, it is never meant to harm you. Instead, it is God's way of preparing you for something greater. After His wilderness experience, Jesus stepped into His ministry with power and clarity. Likewise, your season of refinement is a necessary step toward your divine destiny. Trust that God is using this time to mold you into the person He needs you to be, one who is strong, steadfast, and fully equipped for His purpose. When God calls you to a divine assignment, He requires your full attention. Distractions, whether in the form of unhealthy relationships, negative environments, or self-doubt, can pull you away from the path He has set before you. Many chosen ones struggle with maintaining their focus because they remain too attached to familiarity. However, familiarity can be one of the greatest obstacles to spiritual growth. People who have known you for a long time may struggle to see the transformation God is doing in your life. Their limited perspective can cause them to doubt your calling, reject your purpose, or diminish the work God is doing through you. Even Jesus Himself experienced this kind of rejection. In Mark 6:4-6, He stated, "A prophet is not without honor except in his own town, among his relatives, and in his own home. Because the people of his hometown saw him only as the carpenter's son, they dismissed his divine identity. Their unbelief limited what He could do in their midst. Instead of seeing Him as the Messiah, they only remembered the boy who grew up among them. This lack of faith, prevented them from receiving the miracles and blessings that Jesus could have brought to them. This teaches us a critical lesson. When people cannot see beyond your past, they can become a hindrance to your future. Sometimes the people closest to you are the ones who will have the hardest time accepting the calling upon your life. Their doubts, their skepticism, and their inability to believe in your transformation can create an environment that stifles your growth. If Jesus himself was rejected by those who knew him best, do not be surprised when you experience similar resistance. To protect your focus, you must be intentional about the people and environments you allow into your life. Here are a few key principles. Surround yourself with faith-filled people who uplift and encourage you. Your inner circle should consist of individuals who believe in your calling, support your growth, and challenge you to stay aligned with God's purpose. Proverbs 27:17 says, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." The right people will strengthen your faith, not weaken it. If you are constantly surrounded by people who discourage you or belittle your vision, it may be time to remove yourself from that space. Recognize when it's time to move on. Holding on to relationships that no longer serve your purpose can slow down or completely derail your destiny. When God shows you that a certain place, group, or relationship is no longer aligned with His plan for you, trust Him enough to walk away. God has called you to something greater, and that means your focus must remain unwavering. Do not allow familiarity, doubt, or negative influences to distract you from the divine mission ahead. Instead, surround yourself with those who encourage your faith and walk boldly in the direction God is leading you. When God calls you to walk away from certain relationships, it can feel like a season of loss and isolation. However, separation is never meant to leave you alone. It is meant to position you for something greater. Walking away does not mean permanent isolation. It means making room for the right people that God will bring into your life. When you step out in obedience, God provides new relationships that align with His divine purpose for you. Throughout the Bible, we see examples of how God replaces what is lost with something far greater. David lost family support, but gained Jonathan as a covenant friend. When David was anointed as the future king, his own family did not recognize his potential. Instead, he found unwavering support in Jonathan, the son of King Saul, who became a loyal friend and protector. Their bond was rooted in God's divine purpose, showing that when earthly relationships fail, God provides supernatural connections to help fulfill His plan. Elisha left his family but gained Elijah as a mentor. When Elisha was called to be a prophet, he had to leave his old life behind. He sacrificed his familiar surroundings, yet in return, God gave him Elijah, a powerful mentor who would prepare him for his own prophetic ministry. Because of this divine relationship, Elisha went on to perform twice as many miracles as his predecessor. The disciples left everything but found a new family in Jesus. When Jesus called His disciples, they walked away from their homes, professions, and old lives. But in return, they found a new spiritual family, one that gave them purpose, fellowship, and a deeper relationship with God. They became brothers in faith, united in their mission to spread the gospel. These stories reveal an important truth. When God removes certain people from your life, trust that He has something better in store. Sometimes, the people you were once close to are not meant to be part of your future. Their season in your life may have come to an end, and God, in His wisdom, replaces them with individuals who will support, encourage, and strengthen you in your calling. It is natural to grieve the loss of familiar relationships, but do not allow it to make you fearful of the future. God is not taking something away from you to harm you. He is preparing you for something greater. When you trust in His divine plan, you will soon see that what you thought was a loss was actually an open door to something far more meaningful and aligned with His purpose. God is positioning you for growth, refinement, and purpose. Let's a prayer for strength and guidance. Father, I thank You for calling me into Your divine purpose. Give me the strength to walk away from anything that hinders my journey with You. Help me trust that Your plans are greater than my own. Lead me, refine me, and align me with Your will. In Jesus' name, Amen. If you found this message inspiring, please give this video a like. It helps us reach more people with God's Word. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new message. May God continue to strengthen and bless you on your journey. Your best days are ahead. See you in the next video. Chosen ones. Have you shared a dream so dear to your heart, only to watch it unravel before your eyes? Have you spoken your deepest intentions aloud, only to feel an invisible resistance, as if the very act of revealing them drained them of their power? There is an ancient wisdom, one that the spiritually awakened have always known. Silence is a shield. It is a sacred container that protects what is still in the process of becoming. When you speak too soon, you expose your vision to forces that may not support it. Doubt, skepticism, envy, or even well-meaning voices that unknowingly plant seeds of hesitation in your mind. But when you keep your dreams guarded in stillness, you give them the space to grow strong, undisturbed by external interference. The Bible reminds us, "Whoever guards his mouth preserves his life. He who opens wide his lips comes to ruin." Your dreams are like fragile seeds planted in the soil. A farmer does not dig up the seed every day to see if it is growing. He trusts the process, knowing that in the right time, the roots will strengthen and the plant will break through the surface. In the same way, the visions God has placed in your heart need protection, not premature exposure. Nehemiah's story is a powerful testament to the wisdom of silent preparation and the importance of moving with discernment. When he set out to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem, he did not rush to announce his plans to the world. Instead, he moved in secrecy, taking time to assess the situation, pray, and seek divine guidance before taking action. He understood that not everyone would support his mission, and that opposition was inevitable. True enough, resistance arose in the form of Sanballat and Tobiah, men who not only ridiculed his efforts but actively sought to undermine his work. However, Nehemiah was not shaken by their words, nor did he allow their distractions to pull him away from what God had called him to do. He knew that his purpose did not require validation from others. It only required obedience and faith in God's timing. Rather than engaging in arguments or defending himself against his critics, Nehemiah remained steadfast. He let his actions speak louder than words, trusting that his success would be evident in time. His approach was not one of loud proclamations or seeking public approval, but of careful strategy, unwavering faith, and reliance on God's divine favor. Against all odds, the walls of Jerusalem were restored, not because Nehemiah sought recognition, but because he trusted in the process and in the power of silent preparation. His victory was not in making noise, but in moving wisely, allowing his faith and diligence to bring forth the results that no enemy could deny. Nehemiah's story teaches us a vital lesson. When God gives us a vision, we must protect it. Not every idea, dream, or purpose is meant to be shared prematurely. When we move in silence, we create a space where our plans can develop without interference. We stay focused without being burdened by the doubts and opinions of others. In a world that often pressures us to broadcast every step of our journey to seek external validation, to prove our worth, or to gain approval, Nehemiah reminds us that true progress happens in the unseen moments. It is in the quiet, behind the scenes, where faith, preparation, and obedience align to bring forth victory in God's perfect timing. His life is proof that when we trust in God's process and move with wisdom, the fruits of our labor will be undeniable. We do not need to convince anyone of what God has called us to do. Our results will speak for themselves. Like Nehemiah, we must learn to guard our purpose, to work diligently in the background, and to trust that when the time is right, God will reveal our success in a way that no one can ignore. Joseph's story also is a lesson on the cost of speaking too soon. Gifted with prophetic dreams from God, Joseph saw visions of his future greatness, where his brothers would one day bow before him. In his youthful eagerness, he shared these dreams openly, believing they would be met with understanding. Instead, his words stirred jealousy and resentment among his brothers, leading them to betray him, throw him into a pit, and sell him into slavery. What could have been a direct path to his destiny became a long and painful journey filled with trials, false accusations, imprisonment, and years of uncertainty. Though God's plan for Joseph remained intact, his early revelation of his dreams brought unnecessary hardship. His story serves as a reminder that not everyone is ready to hear what God has placed in our hearts. Some will doubt, others will mock, and some, even unknowingly, may become obstacles on our path. Wisdom teaches us that not every vision is meant to be shared prematurely. Just as a seed needs time to take root before it emerges from the soil, our dreams require quiet cultivation before they are revealed. Had Joseph kept his dreams close to his heart, he may have avoided the betrayal that altered the course of his journey. However, despite the setbacks, God's purpose for him was ultimately fulfilled. He rose to power in Egypt, saved nations from famine, and was eventually reconciled with his brothers. His life is proof that what God ordains cannot be stopped, but it is also a lesson in discernment. Timing matters, and silence can be a form of divine protection. When we trust God's process, rather than seeking immediate recognition, our destiny unfolds in perfect alignment with His will. Silence is far more than the absence of words. It is a powerful shield that protects our dreams, our purpose, and our spiritual journey. When we speak too soon, we expose our visions to forces that may not support them. Doubt, skepticism, and even jealousy can act as unseen weights, pulling our aspirations off course before they have had the chance to take root. Just as a young plant is vulnerable before its roots are firmly established, our dreams require time, care, and a period of quiet growth before they are ready to face the world. The Bible teaches us that wisdom is found in restraint, reminding us in Proverbs 17:27 through 28 that the one who has knowledge uses words with restraint, and whoever has understanding is even-tempered. Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent, and discerning if they hold their tongues. Keeping quiet does not mean lacking confidence. On the contrary, it is an act of discernment, a way to safeguard what is still growing. A farmer does not dig up a seed every day to check its progress because he understands that growth happens beneath the surface, where no one can see. He trusts that in the right time, the roots will strengthen, and the plant will break through the soil. In the same way, the visions God has placed in our hearts require protection, not premature exposure. Sharing our plans too soon can invite doubt, criticism, or interference, making it harder for us to stay focused on what God has called us to do. Moving in wisdom means recognizing that not everyone is meant to hear or understand our purpose. Some people, even with good intentions, may plant seeds of doubt or distraction that lead us away from our divine path. They may question our abilities, encourage us to take an easier route, or suggest compromises that weaken our faith. This is why we must be careful about who we allow into the sacred space of our dreams. Nehemiah, for example, rebuilt Jerusalem's walls in silence, keeping his plans hidden from his enemies until the right time. Because he moved with discretion, he was able to complete his mission without unnecessary obstacles. Joseph, on the other hand, spoke too soon about the dreams God had given him, and as a result, his journey was filled with hardship and betrayal. Though God's plan for Joseph was never destroyed, his path became more difficult because he revealed his vision before the appointed time. Silence is not weakness. It is strength, wisdom, and a form of spiritual protection. It is a sacred space where faith is built, purpose is refined, and destiny is nurtured. Just as a sculptor works on his masterpiece in private before revealing it to the world, we must allow God to shape our journey in the unseen before stepping into the fullness of His plan. When we move in wisdom and patience, we allow God's timing to work in our favor, ensuring that our dreams flourish without unnecessary resistance. Trust in His process, Guard your vision, and know that when the time is right, what is meant for you will come to pass in a way that no one can deny. Jesus demonstrated the power of silence in the most pivotal moments of his life, showing that true strength does not always require words. Before his crucifixion, when he stood before Pilate, falsely accused and surrounded by voices demanding his fate, he did not argue, plead, or seek validation. Instead, he remained silent. Matthew 27:14 tells us, "But Jesus made no reply, not even to a single charge, to the great amazement of the governor." His silence was not weakness, it was power. It was a profound declaration that truth does not always need to be defended, for it is upheld by divine authority. When we are certain of our purpose, we do not need to convince others. Jesus understood that the will of God would prevail, regardless of human opinions, accusations, or opposition. His restraint teaches us a crucial lesson. Not every situation requires a response, and sometimes silence is the greatest act of wisdom. In our own lives, we often feel the need to explain, justify, or prove ourselves to those who misunderstand us. But Jesus shows us that when we walk in divine purpose, we do not need the approval of man. His silence before the storm of his crucifixion was an act of faith, trust, and surrender to God's plan. Likewise, we must learn to discern when to speak and when to be still, when to defend ourselves, and when to let God fight our battles. The world may demand an explanation, but when we are aligned with God's will, our obedience speaks louder than any words ever could. True power is not in noise but in quiet confidence, knowing that God's plan will be fulfilled in His perfect timing. Trusting the process means believing that everything is unfolding in divine timing, even when we cannot see the full picture. In a world that values instant results, it can be difficult to wait for God's plan to unfold. We may feel the urge to rush ahead, to force outcomes, or to seek validation from others. But true faith requires patience. Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us, "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens." Just as a seed takes time to grow beneath the soil before it emerges, our dreams and purpose require unseen preparation before they manifest. Many of the greatest figures in the Bible had to endure long periods of waiting before stepping into their calling. Joseph spent years in prison before becoming a ruler in Egypt. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness before leading the Israelites to freedom. David was anointed king but did not take the throne immediately. He faced battles, rejection, and hardships before his destiny was fulfilled. Their stories remind us that God's delays are not His denials. Every challenge, every season of waiting, and every moment of uncertainty serves a greater purpose, shaping us into the people we need to be for the blessings ahead. When we rush the process, we risk stepping into something before we are truly ready. Imagine a tree trying to bear fruit before its roots are strong. It would not survive the storms that come its way. In the same way, when we trust God's timing, we allow our faith, wisdom, and character to develop so that we can sustain the blessings He has prepared for us. Isaiah 40:31 encourages us, "But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." Waiting is not passive. It is an active period of growth, refinement, and alignment with God's will. If you find yourself in a season of waiting, do not be discouraged. Your time will come, and when it does, it will be undeniable. The doors that God opens no one can shut, and the blessings He has prepared for you will arrive at the perfect moment. Until then, trust, prepare, and remain steadfast in faith. What is meant for you will not pass you by, and when God's appointed time arrives, everything will fall into place exactly as it was destined to be. If this message resonates with you, let's subscribe, share, and comment 7777 below as a bold declaration that you are ready to walk in wisdom, Trust divine timing and allow God to unfold His plan without interference. Your destiny is waiting. Will you protect it? There are moments in life that feel too profound to be mere coincidences, times when something deep within stirs, urging you to pay attention. You've experienced strange separations from people, constant opposition, or unexplainable moments of clarity and guidance. These are not random occurrences. They are signs of divine markers pointing to a greater calling on your life. Some people go through life without ever experiencing these signs, but for those chosen for an extraordinary purpose, they are undeniable. If you've noticed them, they are evidence of a divine anointing that sets you apart. Your journey is not like everyone else's because your destiny is different. In this video, we will uncover 5 mysterious signs that indicate you are dangerously anointed, chosen by God for something far greater than you may even realize. These signs are not just rare, they are profound, shaping your path and revealing a higher plan unfolding in your life. If you've ever felt like you were meant for something extraordinary, pay close attention. The signs you've encountered may be the confirmation you've been seeking. Sign number 1. Unexplainable isolation, a divine separation. There comes a point in life when you begin to feel an unexplainable distance growing between you and the people who once felt like home. Friends who were once constants in your life begin to drift away. Relationships that once provided comfort and stability start to feel strained, and in some cases they break apart completely. Even familiar places, your childhood home, your workplace, your social circles, start to feel different, as though you no longer belong. It's not just a phase, it's a shift that leaves you feeling like an outsider in your own world. At first, you may try to rationalize it. You wonder if you've done something wrong, if people are changing, or if life is simply pulling everyone in different directions. But deep down, there's a nagging feeling that something bigger is at play. This feeling of isolation is not a coincidence, it is a divine separation. When God anoints someone for a higher purpose, He often removes them from environments, relationships, and distractions that no longer serve their destiny. What feels like loneliness is, in reality, a season of preparation. God is setting you apart, not to punish you, but to refine you for what lies ahead. Many of the greatest figures in the Bible went through this same process. Moses spent years alone in the wilderness before leading Israel to freedom. Joseph was betrayed by his brothers and thrown into prison before he was elevated to power. Even Jesus withdrew into solitude, spending 40 days in the desert before beginning his ministry. Isolation is often the training ground for the anointed, a sacred period where God strengthens your faith, sharpens your vision, and deepens your dependence on Him. This period of separation is not just about external relationships. It is also an internal transformation. God is removing not only people from your life, but also the versions of yourself that can't go where He is taking you. The old habits, the need for validation, the distractions, He is stripping them away so that you can step fully into the person He created you to be. It is in the quiet, when the noise of the world fades, that you begin to hear God's voice more clearly. You start to understand His plan in ways you couldn't before. Though painful, this season of isolation is temporary. It is not meant to last forever, but to prepare you for the next chapter. When the time is right, God will bring the right people into your life, those who align with your purpose, who uplift and strengthen you, who walk with you in faith. Until then, embrace this sacred space. Use this time to heal, to grow, and to deepen your connection with God. Trust that He is not removing things from your life to harm you, but to position you for something far greater. Your isolation is not rejection, it is redirection. You are being set apart, not forgotten. And when the season shifts, you will emerge stronger, wiser, and fully prepared for the calling placed upon your life. Sign number 2. Constant opposition and unprovoked attacks. The weight of your calling. One of the most undeniable signs of divine anointing is the resistance that seems to follow you, even when you have done nothing to provoke it. You may notice that people misunderstand you, criticize you, or even turn against you without cause. Relationships that once felt secure may suddenly become strained, and those who once supported you may now seem distant or even hostile. Sometimes the opposition comes in the form of jealousy, gossip, or betrayal from people you least expected. Other times it may appear as obstacles, setbacks, or an unrelenting series of challenges that make you question why things are so difficult. It can be disheartening to feel like no matter what you do, you are met with resistance at every turn. But this is not a coincidence. This is spiritual warfare. When God anoints someone for a great purpose, the enemy takes notice. The weight of your calling attracts opposition, not because you are doing something wrong, but because you are a threat to darkness. Your presence, your gifts, and your potential make others uncomfortable, even if they cannot fully understand why. Some will be drawn to your light while others will resist it, fearing what they do not understand. The enemy sees what you carry even when you do not, and will do everything possible to discourage, distract, and derail you before you fully step into your purpose. The greater the calling, the greater the battle. This is why many who are destined for extraordinary things experience extraordinary challenges. But opposition is not a sign of failure. It is confirmation that you are walking in the right direction. The enemy does not waste time attacking those who pose no threat. If you find yourself constantly facing resistance, it is because your purpose is powerful. This battle is not just about people turning against you. It is about the unseen spiritual forces working to shake your faith and cause you to doubt yourself. It may manifest as deep discouragement, moments of self-doubt, or overwhelming fatigue. The enemy's goal is to make you believe that you are not strong enough, not worthy enough, or not capable of fulfilling the calling on your life. However, opposition is also an opportunity. Every challenge, every betrayal, and every difficulty is refining you, making you stronger, wiser, and more prepared for what lies ahead. Through resistance, God is building resilience in you. Instead of letting opposition shake you, let it remind you of who you are and who you are. Stay rooted in prayer, seek God's wisdom before responding to conflict, and protect your peace. Not every battle is meant to be fought. Some require you to rise above and trust that God will handle the rest. Surround yourself with those who uplift and encourage you, and most importantly, trust that every challenge you face is part of the process. You are not called to an ordinary life, and that means you will face extraordinary battles. But take heart, God is with you, strengthening you for the journey ahead. Sign number 3, unusual sensitivity to energy and environments. The gift of spiritual discernment. Have you ever stepped into a room and instantly felt the atmosphere shift, sensing an unspoken tension or an overwhelming peace before a single word was spoken? Do you find yourself deeply affected by the emotions of others, as if you can feel their joy, pain, or sorrow without them saying a word? This heightened sensitivity is not a coincidence. It is a divine gift, a form of spiritual discernment given to those who are called to a greater purpose. People who are anointed often possess an unusual awareness of the energy around them. They can sense when something is off, even if there is no visible reason for it. Certain places may bring them a deep sense of peace and clarity, while others may leave them feeling drained, uneasy, or spiritually burdened. This is because their spirit is attuned to the unseen, able to perceive spiritual realities beyond what the natural eye can detect. This sensitivity is a tool, given by God, to help them navigate life with wisdom, recognize hidden motives, and avoid situations that could be harmful to their calling. However, carrying this gift comes with challenges. Constantly absorbing the emotions and energy of others can be exhausting, leaving you feeling emotionally and spiritually depleted. Being able to sense unspoken truths can sometimes feel isolating, as though you are experiencing a reality that others do not understand. The weight of knowing things before they happen, feeling the burdens of those around you, or discerning deception can be overwhelming if not properly managed. This is why it is essential to stay spiritually grounded, to protect your peace, It is important to spend intentional time in prayer and meditation, asking God to guide and strengthen you. Visualizing a spiritual shield around yourself, filtering out negativity while allowing divine wisdom to flow, can help you maintain balance. Setting boundaries and learning when to step away from overwhelming situations is also crucial. Your sensitivity is not a weakness, it is a divine compass, leading you toward truth, alignment, and purpose. Embrace it, nurture it, and use it to walk in wisdom. You were given this gift for a reason, and when used correctly, it can help you fulfill the extraordinary calling God has placed on your life. Sign number 4. Repeated signs and synchronicities, divine messages in plain sight. There are moments in life when reality seems to whisper, when ordinary events take on an unusual sense of meaning, as if the universe itself is trying to get your attention. You keep seeing the same numbers, 1111, 444, appearing on clocks, receipts, and license plates. Maybe you hear a particular phrase repeated by different people, or a song plays at the exact moment when you need encouragement. These are not coincidences. They are divine messages, subtle yet powerful signs meant to guide and reassure you. For those who are anointed, these synchronicities appear frequently, especially in times of uncertainty or transition. They are like spiritual breadcrumbs, leading you along the path that has been predestined for you. Sometimes they come as symbols: a feather appearing unexpectedly, a butterfly landing beside you in a moment of deep contemplation, or a stranger saying words that directly answer a question you've been silently asking God. Other times, they manifest as perfectly timed events, just when you are about to give up, an opportunity presents itself, or when you feel lost, an unexpected conversation provides the clarity you need. These moments are too precise to be random. They are divine alignments orchestrated by God. The challenge, however, is recognizing these signs for what they are. In the busyness of life, it is easy to dismiss them as mere chance. But when patterns begin to emerge, when the same number, word, or experience keeps appearing, it is important to pause and reflect. What is God trying to tell you? How does this sign connect to what you have been praying about or struggling with? Keeping a journal of these experiences can help you see the bigger picture, revealing the deeper message that God is trying to communicate. While these signs are powerful, they are not meant to replace faith, but to strengthen it. They serve as reminders that God is actively involved in your journey, guiding your steps even when you feel uncertain. Instead of searching for signs, seek God first, and the signs will naturally follow. Trust that every repeated number, every well-timed encounter, and every mysterious synchronicity is a divine reassurance that you are on the right path, walking in alignment with His perfect plan for your life. Sign number 5. Divine favor and unexplainable breakthroughs. Walking in God's power. The most undeniable sign of divine anointing is the presence of supernatural favor in your life. You've exhausted every option, tried everything in your power, and yet, just when you're about to give up, a door opens where there was none. The financial provision arrives at the last minute, an unexpected opportunity appears, or a problem that seemed impossible is resolved effortlessly. These are not coincidences. They are evidence of divine favor. For those who are anointed, divine favor follows them in ways that cannot be explained by logic or effort alone. Opportunities seem to find them, people are drawn to help them, and success comes in ways that others struggle to attain. This favor is not about luck. It is the hand of God moving behind the scenes, aligning circumstances for His purpose. Sometimes, it comes in grand gestures: a promotion you didn't apply for, a connection that accelerates your destiny, or a miraculous healing. Other times it appears in quiet, subtle ways, meeting the right person at just the right time, stumbling upon the exact words of encouragement you needed, or finding a solution before you even knew you had a problem. However, divine favor is not just about receiving blessings. It comes with responsibility. When God grants favor, it is not meant to elevate you for personal gain, but to position you for impact. The resources, influence, and opportunities He gives you are tools to fulfill your calling, to serve others, and to glorify Him. Favor is a gift, but it is also a test. How you use it determines whether it continues to flow in your life. At times, it may feel like favor is delayed, as if you are waiting for a breakthrough that never comes. But God's timing is perfect, and what seems like a delay is often preparation. He is ensuring that when your moment arrives, you are ready to handle it. When favor does manifest, embrace it with gratitude, walk in it with humility, and use it wisely. It is a sign that God is not only with you but actively working on your behalf. Trust in His process, and know that every breakthrough is a step closer to the extraordinary purpose He has prepared for you. If these 5 signs resonate with you, take heart. You are not ordinary. You are anointed. Your journey may not always be easy, but it is leading you towards something extraordinary. Embrace the process. Trust in God's plan. And most importantly, never doubt the power of the calling on your life. Your anointing is not a burden. It is a divine assignment. Walk boldly in it. If this message speaks to you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, subscribe for more, and join this journey of divine alignment. The world needs your light. Let it shine. Chosen ones, hear me. What I am about to share with you is not just another message. This is a divine revelation, a word you cannot afford to ignore. If you are here right now, it is not by coincidence. God Himself has led you to this moment because He knows this message is meant for you. Everything I am about to tell you is not my own wisdom. It is a divine instruction from the Almighty. The Word of God is alive, sharper than any two-edged sword. It carries the power to break chains, open doors, and lead you into your destiny. So listen closely. What you are about to hear has the power to transform your life forever. The Word of God is not just ink on paper. It breathes, it moves, it transforms. It is the same Word that spoke light into the darkness at the beginning of time. The same Word that healed the sick, raised the dead, and calmed the raging storms. And today, that same Word is coming to you, to breathe life into every dry place in your soul, to shatter every chain that has held you back, and to realign you with the purpose God set for you before the foundation of the world. So do not harden your heart. Do not let distractions steal this moment. Because when God speaks, mountains bow, demons tremble, and the heavens open. Right now, in this very moment, He is speaking directly to you. Will you listen? Will you receive it? I urge you, silence every distraction and open your heart. Receive this word with expectation, because when God speaks, everything changes. And today, change is coming to you. Have you ever found yourself asking, why is my life so difficult? Why does it feel like every burden is placed on my shoulders? Why am I constantly fighting battles that others seem to avoid? You look around and see people living with ease, seemingly untouched by the storms that rage around you. While others walk freely, you are carrying a weight so heavy that at times it feels unbearable. You struggle, you sacrifice, and you pour into others, yet you often feel unappreciated and unseen. You wonder why it always has to be you, the one who figures things out, the one who stands in the gap, the one who bears the weight of responsibility while others seem to drift through life without a care. Let me tell you why. Because you were chosen. You were never meant to walk an ordinary path. You were never meant to have an easy life. God has set you apart for something greater, and that greatness comes with a price. You are not just here to survive. You are here to build, to sustain, to multiply, and to establish something that will outlast you. That is why your battles are greater. That is why your storms are more intense. That is why the enemy has fought so hard to break you, because he knows the calling on your life is too powerful to be ignored. The struggles you face are not random. They are a necessary preparation. God is not punishing you. He is building you. Look at the foundation of a house. If the walls crack, they can be repaired. If the roof leaks, it can be fixed. But if the foundation is weak, the entire house will collapse. That is why your journey has been different. Because you are a foundation. A family, a community, even a nation cannot stand without strong foundations, and you are one of those pillars. That is why you have endured rejection, isolation, and betrayal. That is why you have fought battles in silence while others remained oblivious. Because God is making you strong. Weak people cannot carry great responsibilities. Shallow people cannot uphold generations. Easily shaken people cannot be trusted with divine assignments. And so God has allowed you to be tested, refined, and molded into someone unshakable. When you look at the lives of those called by God, you will see the same pattern. Joseph was betrayed and thrown into a pit before he reached the palace. Moses was rejected and forced into the wilderness before he led Israel to freedom. David was hunted like a fugitive before he took his rightful place on the throne. Even Jesus himself, the Son of God, was despised, rejected, and abandoned in his darkest hour. Their struggles were not punishments, they were preparations. And your struggles are no different. The weight is heavy because the assignment is great. You are not just anyone. You are called. You are chosen. And if God has entrusted you with this burden, He has also given you the strength to carry it. Do not despise your battles. They are shaping you into the leader, the protector, the foundation that God designed you to be. Your hardship is not the end of your story. It is the preparation for something greater than you can imagine. When we think of a breadwinner, the world often defines it as someone who provides financially for their family. But in God's eyes, a true breadwinner is much more than just a provider of money and material needs. They are sustainers, multipliers, and preservers of destinies. They do not merely survive. They build, prepare, and ensure that what is entrusted to them is not only maintained but multiplied for future generations. One of the greatest biblical examples of a true breadwinner is Joseph. His story is not just about survival. It is about divine strategy, wisdom, and stewardship that saved not only a nation, but also the generations that followed. Joseph was betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, and thrown into prison. Yet through all of this, God was shaping him, preparing him for the moment when he would rise to become a leader who would sustain millions. During the years of abundance in Egypt, Joseph did not waste what he had. He stored it, managed it wisely, and prepared for the famine that was to come. Tells us that when the famine struck, while other lands suffered in lack, Egypt had food because of Joseph's foresight and divine wisdom. He did not just think about the present, he thought generationally. He did not just provide for his family, he positioned himself to sustain entire nations. This is what separates a mere provider from a true breadwinner. A provider gives what is needed for today. A breadwinner builds so that others will not lack tomorrow. Joseph's journey teaches us 3 critical lessons about what it means to be a true breadwinner. First, preparation is key. Breadwinners do not live just for the moment. They prepare for the future. Joseph did not wait until the famine came to act. He made strategic decisions long before the crisis arrived. Second, breadwinners know how to manage resources wisely. They are not wasteful, nor are they reckless. They recognize that what they have is not just for them, but for those they are called to sustain. Third, true breadwinners multiply. Joseph did not merely ensure survival. He used wisdom and divine strategy to turn a crisis into an opportunity for abundance. His leadership did not just feed people for a season, it preserved generations. This is your calling. You are not meant to live in survival mode, constantly struggling just to get by. You are meant to thrive, multiply, and build a legacy that will impact those who come after you. Like Joseph, God has placed in you the ability to create, sustain, and expand. But with that ability comes a responsibility to steward it wisely, to manage it with diligence, and to trust that God will provide the strength and wisdom needed to fulfill your assignment. What will you do with what God has given you? Will you merely survive, or will you rise as a true breadwinner, a foundation upon which generations can stand? The choice is yours. There are moments in life when the burdens we carry feel too heavy to bear. The pressures of responsibility, the weight of expectations, and the struggles that seem unending can leave us feeling exhausted and overwhelmed. In these moments, it's easy to wonder if we have the strength to continue. We question whether we're capable of handling everything that life throws our way. The nights feel longer, the days feel harder, and the hope that once burned brightly seems to flicker. But even in the heaviest moments, we are not alone. Throughout the Bible, we see countless examples of people who carried immense burdens. Moses, tasked with leading an entire nation through the wilderness. David, pursued by enemies while clinging to God's promises. Paul, imprisoned and beaten, yet steadfast in his faith. Yet in every struggle, God provided strength. He reminded them that they were never meant to carry their burdens alone. Jesus himself extended an invitation to the weary, saying, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." This promise is not just for those in the past, it is for us today. When the weight feels unbearable, we must remember that we were never designed to carry it by ourselves. God invites us to lay our worries at his feet, to trust that he is strong enough to sustain us. This does not mean our struggles will instantly disappear, but it does mean we are held by a God who walks with us through every storm. Instead of relying on our own strength, we can lean on his. Instead of being crushed by our burdens, we can surrender them to the one who has already overcome the world. So if you find yourself weary, take heart. You are not alone, and you are not forgotten. The same God who strengthened Moses, guided David, and upheld Paul is holding you too. Lay your burdens before him and allow his peace to fill the places where fear and exhaustion once lived. The weight may be heavy, but his grace is always greater. Carrying the weight of your calling can feel overwhelming, but it is not meant to break you. It is meant to shape you. One of the first steps to walking in your calling without crumbling under its weight is to stop seeing yourself as a victim. Challenges will come, but they are not meant to destroy you. They are meant to refine you. Instead of asking, "Why me?" Зрение. Сдвиньте перспективу и спросите, «Господь, как я должен распоряжаться этим хорошо?» Every difficulty is an opportunity for growth, and every hardship is shaping you into the person God has called you to be. Another key to sustaining your calling is understanding that you cannot pour from an empty cup. Even Jesus, who carried the greatest mission of all, regularly withdrew to pray. Taking time to recharge is not a sign of weakness, it is wisdom. When you prioritize your spiritual and emotional well-being, you are better equipped to fulfill your calling with endurance and joy. Beyond thinking about today, you must also think generationally. Proverbs 13:22 reminds us that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Your calling is not just about you, it is about those who will come after you. What you build today will impact future generations. Whether through your faith, your obedience, or the legacy you leave, your calling is part of a much bigger picture. Keeping this perspective will help you persevere when challenges arise. At times, you will be misunderstood. This is a reality that even great biblical leaders faced. Joseph was despised by his own brothers. David's family doubted his ability. Jesus himself was rejected in his hometown. Not everyone will understand your calling, and that is okay. You do not need validation from everyone, only faithfulness to the one who called you. Above all, remember that God is your ultimate source. You are not the one who sustains your calling. He is. Philippians 4:19 assures us that God will supply all your needs according to his riches and glory. You do not have to carry this weight alone. Surrender your burdens, trust in his provision, and walk forward with confidence, knowing that he who called you is faithful to sustain you. Heavenly Father, I come before you today, lifting up every person listening to this message, every man, every woman who carries the weight of provision for their family. Lord, you see their struggles, their silent prayers, and the burdens they carry. Many are weary, many feel overwhelmed, but you are their strength, their refuge, and their provider. Right now, in the mighty name of Jesus, I declare a breakthrough over their lives. Father, I pray that every chain of struggle be broken. Let every spirit of heaviness be lifted and every financial burden be overturned. You are Jehovah Jireh, our provider, and I trust that you are already making a way where there seems to be no way. No attack of the enemy will prosper against them, for you are their shield and defender. Strengthen them, Lord, not just physically but emotionally and spiritually. Fill their hearts with peace and their minds with clarity. Let them know that they are not alone in this journey. Pour out supernatural provision, divine favor, and unexpected blessings over their lives. Open doors of opportunity, multiply the work of their hands, and guide them in wisdom as they steward their resources. Let them walk in victory, prosperity, and the fullness of their divine purpose. May they never forget that they are not just providing for their families. They are laying a foundation of faith, perseverance, and legacy. And Lord, I thank you for them. Thank you for their sacrifices, their love, and their dedication. May they feel seen, valued, and appreciated, not just by their families, but by you, the one who rewards those who trust in you. I declare over them today, they are chosen, they are covered, they are victorious. In Jesus' mighty name, Amen. If this word spoke to you, let's subscribe, share, and sow into this mission, because you are not just a breadwinner, you are a history maker. God bless you. Chosen ones, what I am about to reveal may surprise you. It may even shake you to your core. Deep within, you have always felt different, as if there was something special about you that others couldn't understand. If you are watching this video, know this: it is not a coincidence. You are here for a reason. Your childhood was anything but ordinary. There were moments, signs, and experiences that carried a divine message, even if you didn't recognize them at the time. You were chosen from the very beginning, marked for a purpose far greater than you could have imagined. This video will help you remember what has been hidden from you and awaken you to your true identity. So, I urge you, watch this video until the end. What I am about to share will open your eyes and bring a spiritual awakening that will change your life forever. Before we begin, I need you to do 3 things. Number 1, like this video, so more chosen ones can find it. Number 2, subscribe to our channel. Let's grow this community to 30,000 strong. Number 3, comment 99. This number carries powerful energy that will magnify this message. If you are truly chosen, you will feel it in your soul. This message was meant for you. Now, let us embark on this journey together to uncover your divine purpose. From the moment you were born, you were different. The signs were there, subtle, yet powerful. The world may not have noticed, but God did. He set you apart, marking you for something greater, something far beyond the ordinary. While others lived without questioning, you always felt there was more. More to life, more to your existence, more to the world around you. Even as a child, you may have felt out of place, as if you didn't quite belong. While other children played and laughed without a care, you were drawn to deeper thoughts. Perhaps you sat quietly, observing the world, trying to understand things beyond what others could see. Maybe you questioned life in ways that even adults struggled to answer. You may have often asked yourself, why am I here? What is my true purpose? Why do I think differently than everyone else? At times, this difference may have made you feel lonely, like no one truly understood you. But let me tell you this, it was never a weakness. That feeling of being different, of being set apart, was a divine sign. It was God's way of showing you that you were meant for something greater. Ephesians 1:4 tells us, "For he chose us in Christ before the foundation of the world. In his love he predestined us to be holy and without blemish." From the very start, God placed his hand upon you, guiding your steps even when you didn't realize it. Those moments of isolation were preparation, not punishment. They shaped you, molded you, and set you on a path toward your higher calling. Looking back, you may see now that those times when you felt different, when you felt like an outsider, were actually moments of divine positioning. God was aligning your spirit with His purpose, whispering to your soul that you were meant for more. So do not see your past as a burden. See it as a blessing. You were never meant to fit in. You were chosen to stand out. And now the time has come for you to embrace your divine purpose and step fully into the calling that has been upon your life since the very beginning. Number 1. You always felt different. While others fit in easily, you often felt like an outsider. You saw the world differently, thought differently, and questioned things that others never even considered. While many were content with surface-level conversations and simple pleasures, you were drawn to deeper truths. Your mind was always searching, always seeking something more, because it was divinely guided. You may have struggled to connect with peers, not because you lacked social skills, but because your thoughts and spirit were always focused on something bigger. Even from a young age, you found yourself contemplating the meaning of life, the mysteries of the universe, and the presence of God. While others were preoccupied with temporary things, you were drawn to truth, wisdom, and spiritual matters. At times, this difference may have felt lonely. You may have wondered, why don't I think like everyone else? Why do I feel so different? But let me tell you this, your uniqueness was never an accident. It was a calling. Jeremiah 29:11 reassures us, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." God created you to stand out, not to blend in. The way your mind works, the way your heart feels, the way your spirit longs for something greater, it's all part of His divine design. You were set apart for a reason. Embrace your uniqueness, because it is the key to your purpose. The world needs people like you, those who see beyond the ordinary, who ask the deeper questions, and who seek the truth that leads to God. Number 2. You had a strong sense of empathy. From childhood, you felt deeply for others. You could sense when someone was hurting, even when they said nothing at all. Their pain weighed on your heart as if it were your own, and their happiness lifted your spirit as if you were the one experiencing it. This was not just sensitivity or a personality trait. It was a divine gift, a reflection of God's love working through you. Empathy is one of the clearest signs of a chosen one. It means that God has entrusted you with the ability to heal, to comfort, and to guide others toward Him. While the world may see empathy as a burden, in God's eyes, it is a calling. He placed this gift in you so that you could bear the burdens of others, not as a weight to crush you, but as a mission to bring light and love to those who need it most. Galatians 6:2 reminds us, "Bear one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ." Your ability to feel deeply is not a flaw. It is a sign that God has called you to serve. Perhaps you found yourself drawn to those who are struggling, offering a listening ear, a kind word, or silent support. Maybe you've wondered why you care so much when others seem indifferent. It's because you were chosen to be different. Your compassion was never weakness. It was your strength. It is the evidence of God's hand upon your life, shaping you into someone who reflects His love. Do not run from it. Embrace it. The world needs more hearts like yours. Number 3. You had deep, meaningful dreams. God speaks to His chosen ones in many ways, and one of the most powerful is through dreams. Have you ever had a dream so vivid, so intense, that it felt more real than anything else? Have you ever dreamt of something, only to see it unfold in real life days, weeks, or even years later? If so, know this: these were not coincidences. They were divine messages, carefully placed in your heart by God Himself. In Matthew 1:20-21, we see a powerful example of this. But while he thought about these things, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream, saying, "Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to take Mary as your wife, for what is conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit. She will give birth to a son, and you shall call his name Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins. Just as God spoke to Joseph, guiding him toward his divine purpose, he still speaks to his chosen ones today. Some dreams bring warnings, preparing you for what's ahead. Others bring clarity, giving you peace in times of uncertainty. Some may even reveal glimpses of the future, awakening you to a deeper spiritual understanding. If you have ever had a dream that stayed with you, one that whispered a truth into your soul, one that felt like more than just imagination, know that it was not random. It was God communicating with you, reminding you that He is guiding your steps. Pay attention to these moments. Pray for understanding. God is revealing something important to you. Are you listening? Number 4, you experience divine protection. Think back. Have there been moments in your life where danger was near, yet somehow you were spared? Times when a situation should have ended badly, yet everything turned around in ways you couldn't explain? Have you ever looked back at a moment in your past and realized that you shouldn't have made it through, but you did? These moments were not coincidences. They were not luck. They were divine intervention. Psalm 34:7 reminds us, "The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear Him, and He delivers them." This means that God has been watching over you from the very beginning. You were never truly alone, even when you felt lost. His hand was always upon you, protecting you in ways you didn't even realize at the time. Perhaps there were days when you wondered, "How did I get through that?" The answer is simple. God was with you. The enemy may have tried to bring harm into your life, but God's protection was greater. Every time you were saved from unseen danger, every time an opportunity opened when it should have closed, every time you found strength when you should have been broken, those were signs that God was watching over you. Even in the darkest times, even when you doubted, even when you felt abandoned, He never left you. His angels were encamped around you, shielding you from harm. And now, as you step into your divine calling, know this: the same God who protected you then is still with you now. Number 5, you had an unexplainable connection to God. From a young age, you felt drawn to God. Maybe you couldn't explain it, but deep inside, you knew He was real. It was as if His presence surrounded you, guiding you in ways you didn't fully understand. While others went about their lives without thinking much about faith, you felt something deeper, a longing, a connection, an unshakable awareness that there was more to this world than what the eyes could see. At times, you may have felt an urge to pray, even when you didn't know why. Perhaps you found yourself talking to God in moments of uncertainty, seeking His presence when you were alone. And when you did, you experienced a peace that went beyond understanding, a calm assurance that no matter what happened, He was with you. Jeremiah 29:12-13 tells us, "You will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will hear you. You will seek me and find me when you search for me with all your heart." This means your desire for God was never random. It was a divine relationship, one that had been with you since childhood. That connection has always been there, a quiet but powerful presence in your life. It was God's way of reminding you that you were never alone, that He had a purpose for you, and that He was calling you closer to Him. Now it is time to embrace that calling, to nurture that relationship, and to walk confidently in the purpose He has set before you. Everything you have experienced, your loneliness, your deep thoughts, your sensitivity, your vivid dreams, and your unshakable connection to God, was never random. Every moment of doubt, every unanswered question, every feeling of being different was not a mistake. It was preparation. James 1:2-4 reminds us, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, lacking nothing." This means that nothing you have endured was in vain. Every trial strengthened you. Every tear watered the seeds of wisdom in your soul, and every hardship refined you like gold in the fire. Your struggles were never meant to break you. They were meant to build you. The pain you felt was shaping you. The moments of rejection were setting you apart. The challenges were molding you into the person God designed you to be. What once seemed like obstacles were actually stepping stones leading you closer to your divine purpose. Now the question is, will you embrace it? Will you allow everything you have endured to fuel your faith, to step forward with confidence, knowing that you were chosen for something greater? The time has come to walk boldly into the life God has prepared for you. Your journey was never meant to end in struggle. It was always meant to lead to victory. Now that you understand the truth, the question is, what will you do with it? Knowing that you are chosen is not just about awareness, it is about action. God did not set you apart without a reason. He did not place this calling upon your life for it to remain dormant. He chose you to be a light in the darkness, a messenger of His love, and a vessel for His divine purpose. You are here to make a difference, to bring hope where there is despair, and to shine in a world that desperately needs God's presence. John 15:16 declares, "You did not choose me, but I chose you, and appointed you that you should go and bear fruit, fruit that will last." This means your calling is not temporary or insignificant. It is eternal. You were chosen to bear fruit, to impact lives, to spread truth, to walk in faith, and to bring others closer to God. This is not just a privilege, it is a responsibility. Now, it is time to step into your divine purpose. No more doubting, no more waiting. The same God who called you will equip you. He will guide you, strengthen you, and lead you toward everything He has prepared for you. The world needs the gifts He has placed inside you. Will you answer the call? Will you rise and walk in the purpose for which you were created? The choice is yours. But remember, you were chosen for such a time as this. If this message has resonated with you, if you recognize these signs in your own life, know this: you are not alone. Many others just like you are awakening to their true purpose. You are part of a greater plan, a divine movement unfolding before our eyes. So, take this message to heart. Embrace it, live it, and share it with those who need to hear it. You were chosen for something extraordinary, something beyond what you can imagine. Now is the time to step forward in faith and claim the purpose that God has placed upon your life. If you are ready to walk in your divine calling, type 99 in the comments. Let this be your declaration of faith and alignment with God's plan. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for answering the call. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a message meant for you. Together, we are stronger. Together, we will fulfill our purpose. There is a secret about your existence, a truth so profound that ancient forces conspired to bury it beneath the weight of time. It was never meant to be spoken, never meant to be discovered. But destiny has a way of defying even the most immutable decrees. And now, the veil is lifting. From the moment you took your first breath, your name was inscribed on a plane few can perceive. It was etched into the very fabric of existence, a mark neither celestial beings nor shadowed entities could fully comprehend. You were never supposed to be here, or at least, you were never meant to remain. An order had been given. A decree had been set in stone long before you could ever question it. A hunter was sent. A creature shaped by chaos and obedient to darkness. A fallen angel, stripped of grace and bound to the will of the abyss. He had ended countless lives before, erased souls without hesitation, his blade an extension of his existence, merciless, unwavering, absolute. But when it came to you, something changed. He should have struck you down. He should have erased your name from the annals of time, as he had done with so many others. And yet, he did not. The night he found you should have been like any other, a silent execution, another soul erased without question. He had done this before, countless times, without hesitation. His blade had never faltered, his purpose never wavered. And yet the moment he stood before you, something within him broke. His instincts screamed for him to act, to finish what had been decreed since before you were even born. He should have struck you down before you ever saw him, before you even knew he existed. But the blade never fell. A strange sensation coursed through him, unfamiliar and unwelcome, a crack in the certainty that had defined his existence for eons. Hesitation. A shadow of doubt passed through his very being, subtle yet shattering, like a whisper of something forbidden in the abyss. It was not weakness, he had no concept of such a thing, but something deeper, something that defied the order written into his essence. He told himself it was a fleeting miscalculation, an insignificant delay. But the longer he stood there, the more he realized the truth. He could not do it. He could not erase you. Hatred rose in him not for you, but for himself. He had never failed, never questioned, never faltered. His entire existence was built upon obedience, upon the execution of commands that should never be ignored. And yet, here he stood, his blade frozen in the air, an unspoken war raging within him. He had never been anything but a servant of darkness, a force of ruin, a shadow bound to the will of the abyss. So why now did he feel something shift, something unravel? He tried to force himself to act, to silence the anomaly before it grew into something uncontrollable. But it was already too late. Something in your presence disarmed him in a way he could not comprehend. You were not just another soul, another name to be erased. There was something about you, something that defied the rules he had always known. Your heartbeat echoed through the silence, steady and unafraid, and for the first time in all his existence, he felt as though he were standing on the edge of something unknown. The weight of his own hesitation crushed him, a foreign burden pressing against him like unseen chains. He should have left, should have vanished into the shadows. But instead, he lingered, caught in the gravity of something beyond his understanding. Anger burned in his chest, not at you, but at himself. He could not comprehend why his body refused to obey, why the decree that had guided him for eternity now felt like an illusion crumbling before his eyes. And so, he did the only thing he could. He turned and disappeared into the night, retreating into the darkness that had always been his home. But something followed him. An invisible mark burned into his mind, a name he could not forget. He told himself he would return, that he would correct this mistake, that he would finish what he had started. But deep down, he already knew the truth. The failure was not in his blade. The failure was in him. Since that night, he has never left you. You may not see him, but you feel him. A silent presence lingering just beyond the veil of perception. A weight pressing against your soul. At first, it is nothing more than an unshakable feeling, an occasional chill crawling up your spine, a fleeting shiver in the warmth of the sun. You dismiss it as paranoia, an overactive imagination. But deep down, you know better. Something unseen moves in the spaces between your breaths, watching, waiting. He keeps his distance at first, hidden in the places where light does not reach. He watches in silence, trying to understand why he failed. He tells himself it was a momentary lapse, an anomaly to be corrected. But the longer he observes, the less he believes his own justifications. The truth is far more insidious. Something in you lingers in his mind, refusing to be erased. He does not understand it, and that terrifies him. The more he watches, the closer he draws. His presence shifts from a whisper to a weight, pressing against the fabric of your existence. You begin to notice. The air thickens when you're alone. The light seems dimmer, sounds more distant, as if the world itself recoils at the presence of something unnatural. You catch glimpses of movement and reflections, but when you turn, there is nothing there. The feeling of being watched intensifies, an oppressive awareness that burrows into your thoughts, turning silence into something unbearable. The dreams begin soon after. At first, they are fragments, half-formed images that dissolve the moment you wake. But they grow stronger, more vivid, more real. A shadow looms at the edge of your vision, always watching, never speaking. The presence does not touch you, but you feel it, an unrelenting force just beyond reach, tethered to you by something unseen. You wake with the lingering sensation of something unfinished, something waiting. He should remain hidden, should erase all trace of himself. That is what he was trained to do. But he does not. Instead, he leaves pieces of himself behind, not mistakes, but choices. A whisper too close, a shadow that lingers just a moment too long, a sensation that tightens around you like unseen fingers. He tells himself it is part of the hunt, that he is simply studying his prey. But the truth is far more dangerous, because with each passing day it becomes clearer. This is no longer a hunt. It is an obsession. And worse still, he no longer knows if he is watching you because he must end what he started, or because he cannot bear to turn away. He has tried everything to silence the chaos within him. He has drowned himself in battle, torn through countless souls, and buried himself in destruction, all in a desperate attempt to forget. But no matter how much blood stains his hands, no matter how deep he buries himself in the abyss, nothing erases the moment he met you. Your existence clings to him like a shadow that refuses to fade, a mark burned into his very essence. He tells himself that it is a curse, that you are an anomaly disrupting the order he has always known. And yet, the more he tries to deny it, the more the truth presses against him like a weight he cannot escape. The failure was not in his blade. It was in him. You were supposed to be nothing, a name, a target, a task to complete and forget. But you are none of those things. The rules he has always obeyed, the absolute certainty of his purpose, have shattered. He is no longer sure if he was sent to eliminate you or if this mission was never about you at all. Perhaps it was about him. Perhaps it was meant to break something within him, to expose a weakness he never knew existed. He fights against the thought, against the unraveling of his own existence. But it is useless. Every path leads back to you. Every time he closes his eyes, he sees your face. Every time he tries to forget, your presence returns stronger, more consuming. He cannot understand why, and that terrifies him. Was this fate? Was he always meant to find you, not as an executioner, but as something else? The question haunts him. It poisons him. It transforms him. And though he tries to convince himself that you are his downfall, another part of him, the part he has spent lifetimes ignoring, whispers that maybe, just maybe, you are his awakening. Then one night, the pursuit ends. The shadows no longer conceal him, and the whispers no longer dissolve before you can hear them. He stands before you at last, no longer a distant presence lurking in the darkness, but a force that bends reality itself. The air around you shifts, thick with something unseen, something inevitable. You feel it in your bones, the weight of this moment, the unshakable sense that everything has been leading to this. His blade is drawn, but it does not strike. His mission was clear, his purpose absolute. And yet, he hesitates. He has told himself time and time again that this is merely unfinished business, that you are nothing more than a mistake he must correct. But now, standing before you, the truth is undeniable. This was never just another hunt. This was never about you. It was about him. About the fracture that had been growing inside him since the moment he laid eyes on you. For the first time, he is forced to confront what he has been running from. The certainty that once guided him has turned to dust, and in its place is something unfamiliar, something terrifying. Choice. He was not made to choose. He was made to obey. But now, his orders feel hollow, and the weight of the blade in his hand feels more like a burden than a purpose. He expected you to run, to fight, to react in a way that would make his decision easier. But you do none of those things. You simply look at him, and that single act shatters him more than any battle ever could. He realizes, in that moment, that if he does not act now, he may never be able to fulfill his mission. But at the same time, he knows that if he does, he will be destroying the only truth he has ever glimpsed. The silence between you is unbearable, stretching into something that neither of you can define. He clings to the last remnants of his purpose, but they slip through his fingers like ash. He understands now. He did not fail because he was weak. He failed because for the first time, he saw beyond the chains that bound him. And now, there is no turning back. Freedom always comes at a price. He knows this the moment he lowers his blade, the moment he turns his back on the order that has defined his existence for eternity. The abyss does not tolerate disobedience. The masters he once served will not stand for his failure. The darkness will come for him as relentlessly as he once pursued you. But now, it is not only his fate that is at stake, it is yours. Because if he could not kill you, they will find another who will. But this time, you are not alone. Something has shifted, something irreversible. He was sent to erase you, but instead, he has become your shield. He stands at your side, no longer as the hunter, but as the protector. The very forces that once commanded him will now hunt him, and the war that has long raged in the unseen world will soon bleed into this one. The same darkness that shaped him will try to reclaim him, to drag him back into the abyss. And worse, they will try to erase you again, because if he could not do it, they will find someone who will not hesitate. But this time, hesitation will not be his weakness. It will be his strength. He has turned his back on the only life he has ever known, and for the first time, he does not regret it. The weight that once held him captive has lifted, replaced by something unfamiliar yet undeniable. Purpose. Not the kind forced upon him, but the kind he has chosen. He does not know what comes next, does not know if redemption is even possible for one like him. But if there is one thing he is certain of, it is this: no one will ever touch you again. The hunt has ended. The battle has begun. But this is not just a story. It is a mirror. How many times has darkness tried to silence you? How many times have unseen forces sought to break you, to convince you that you were not strong enough to survive? And yet, you are still here. You are not a mistake. You are not an accident. You are a force that defies what was written, a light that refuses to be extinguished. And like him, you have a choice: to remain bound by the chains that were placed upon you, or to break free. Destiny has brought you to this moment. The question is, what will you do with it? Because the story is far from over. The battle is only beginning. If this message resonated with you, if something deep within you stirred as you listened, then you are already on the path meant for you. Do not turn away. Do not let the world silence the truth inside you. Stand in it. Walk in it. And if you are ready to uncover more, if you are ready to step into the story that has always been waiting for you, then subscribe now and join us on this journey. Because what comes next is something you won't want to miss. Thank you for being here. And remember, your destiny has already been written. Now it's time to live it. Listen closely. This is not another empty motivation speech. This is your final message before the shift. The world around you is not as it seems, and the forces working against you are not what you've been told. They have lied to you, manipulated you, and spent years poisoning your mind, not because you are weak, but because you are strong beyond measure. They fear what they cannot control, and you, chosen one, are the one thing they have never been able to control. The wolves do not chase the weak, they hunt the strongest. They whisper doubts into your mind, turn your loved ones against you, place obstacles in your path, and make you question your very purpose. Why? Because they know exactly what it is. This is the war for your awakening. This war is not fought with swords, but with distractions, deception, and control over your energy. Every time you hesitate, every time you doubt yourself, every time you let fear stop you, they win. But the moment a chosen one realizes who they are, the enemy loses all power. So I ask you, are you ready to wake up? Or will you remain trapped in their illusion? Because once you see the truth, there is no going back. The greatest deception ever orchestrated was not one of war, politics, or power. It was the lie that the chosen ones were powerless. It was a carefully woven illusion, designed not to defeat you outright, but to keep you blind to what has always been inside you. They knew who you were before you even had a clue, before you ever questioned why life felt different, why you never truly fit in, why betrayals cut deeper than they should. They had already seen you. They recognized the force within you, the kind of power that cannot be bought, imitated, or stolen, and that terrified them. So, they struck early. They placed roadblocks before you could even take your first step. They whispered doubts before you could even form words of confidence. They surrounded you with people who could not see your light, people who doubted you, envied you, and subtly sought to diminish your worth. Every hardship, every moment of self-doubt, every betrayal, it was never just misfortune. It was intentional. The system was never built to nurture the chosen ones. It was built to suppress them before they could awaken. Look at history, and the pattern becomes undeniable. The greatest souls were marked before they ever knew their own destiny. Jesus was hunted before he could even speak. Moses was abandoned before he could walk. Malcolm X was targeted before he could rise. Every chosen one who has ever existed has faced the same script: opposition before realization, isolation before leadership, trials before transformation, because the enemy never waits. They do not strike when you are strong. They come when you are vulnerable, young, and unaware. They do not need to stop a warrior in full power. They only need to make sure you never realize you are one. And yet, despite everything they threw at you, you are still here. Despite the countless moments designed to break you, you have not only survived, but have begun to see through the illusion. The very thing they feared most is happening. You are awakening. And the moment you fully recognize who you are, they lose all control. A lion does not ask for permission to roar, just as a chosen one does not need validation to rise. From the moment you entered this world, you carried something rare, something unexplainable, a power that cannot be taught, borrowed, or imitated. It was placed inside you before birth, woven into your very existence. Yet, from the beginning, the world has worked tirelessly to convince you that you are ordinary. They told you to stay in line, to follow the rules, to suppress the fire inside you. They conditioned you to seek approval, to look to others for validation, to believe that your worth depended on their recognition. But deep down, you have always known the truth. Even in your most uncertain moments, even when doubt wrapped itself around you, something inside refused to be extinguished. Because power like yours cannot be destroyed. It can only be forgotten. Have you ever noticed how the most gifted, insightful, and spiritually powerful people are also the ones who face the greatest struggles? The ones whose lives seem like an endless battle? That is not coincidence. It is by design. They cannot allow you to see what you truly are. So, they distract you. They bury you in self-doubt, in toxic relationships, in never-ending hardships. They drain your energy, break your confidence, and exhaust you until you are too tired to fight for your destiny. Think about it. How many times have you questioned yourself, not because you lacked ability, but because the world made you feel like you weren't enough? How many dreams have you abandoned, not because you didn't believe in them, but because someone else convinced you they were unrealistic? This is their strategy, to keep you lost so that you never step fully into your calling. But now, you are beginning to remember. You are waking up, and they can feel it. The very thing they feared most is happening. You are reclaiming what has always been yours, and once a chosen one rises, there is no force in this world that can bring them back down. When they cannot possess the fire, they seek to extinguish it. They have tried everything, stealing from you, imitating you, even tearing you down, but nothing works. No matter how much they analyze you, study your every move, or attempt to replicate what you have, they will never be you. And that drives them insane. So they did the next best thing. They tricked you into giving it away. They whispered doubts into your mind, making you second-guess yourself at every turn. They surrounded you with people who drained your energy, who made you question your worth, who fed you fear instead of faith. They created distractions, endless cycles of struggle, toxic relationships, and betrayals to keep you too exhausted to fight, too weary to recognize your own power. And the worst part? It almost worked. How many times have you hesitated, not because you weren't capable, but because someone else convinced you that you weren't? How many dreams have you abandoned, not because they were impossible, but because the world told you they were? That was their plan all along, to keep you small, to keep you controlled, to keep you from realizing who you were always meant to be. But here is what they never expected. You survived. Despite every obstacle, every betrayal, every moment designed to break you are still here. And now, something inside you is stirring. The illusions they built around you are beginning to crumble. And the moment you reclaim your power, the game changes forever. Because a chosen one who has awakened is a force that cannot be stopped. The greatest wars are not fought with weapons, armies, or battlefields. They are waged in the mind, in the soul, in the quiet spaces where no one is watching. This war does not need to take your life physically. It only needs to break you mentally and spiritually. If they can control your thoughts, they control your choices. If they can weaken your spirit, they don't need chains to keep you bound. And so they attack in silence. They use the people closest to you, the ones you trust, the ones who should have stood by your side. They plant seeds of doubt, turning friends into enemies, family into sources of pain. Not because those people were always against you, but because they were used as weapons without even realizing it. A careless word, an unkind action, a betrayal when you least expect it. These things are not coincidences. They whisper to you through exhaustion, draining your energy with endless struggles, distractions, and unseen battles. They make you feel like no matter how hard you fight, you will never win. They want you to be weary. They want you questioning. They want you to feel too weak to keep going. Every setback, every heartbreak, every moment where you wanted to give up, it was all carefully placed in your path, designed to break your spirit before you could step into your true power. But here is what they never expected. You got back up. Every time they knocked you down, you refused to stay on the ground. Every time they thought they had finally broken you, you kept moving forward. That is what terrifies them the most. Because a chosen one who refuses to give up is unstoppable. A chosen one who sees the war for what it is, who understands that these attacks were never random, but calculated, can never be manipulated again. And once you see the truth, you can never unsee it. The war may be invisible, but you have felt its weight your entire life. Now, you have a choice. Will you continue to let it control you? Or will you rise knowing that your very existence is proof that you were meant to win? The eagle does not fly in flocks. It soars alone, high above the rest, untouched by the noise of the world below. The higher it ascends, the fewer can follow. And so it is with the chosen ones. You have felt it your entire life, the loneliness, the unshakable sense that you don't quite belong, the quiet understanding that you are different. No matter how much you tried to blend in, to be like everyone else, something within you always refused to conform. That is because you were never meant to fit in. The world does not embrace the chosen. It isolates them. It separates them, forces them into solitude, pushes them into battles that must be fought alone. Not as punishment, but as preparation. Because those who are meant to lead cannot afford to be ordinary. They must be unshakable. Think about the people who have come and gone from your life. The friends who faded away. The ones you thought would always be there, only to watch them disappear when you needed them most. At times, it may have felt like rejection, like abandonment, like an unbearable loneliness. But it was never rejection. It was elevation. Not everyone can walk the same path as you. Not everyone is meant to rise to the level you are called to reach. And so, one by one, they fall away, not because you were not worthy of love or companionship, but because your journey required separation. So I ask you, will you keep mourning those who left? Will you keep looking back, wondering why they couldn't stay, why they didn't understand you, why they chose to walk away? Or will you accept what has always been true? You were never meant to stay where they are. The right people will come. The ones who truly understand you, who match your energy, who carry their own light instead of feeding off yours. But they will not find you in the places you have outgrown. They will meet you at the next level. Until then, embrace solitude. It is not a curse. It is your preparation. It is in the stillness that you are sharpened, in the silence that you hear your true calling, in the isolation that you become the force you were always meant to be. Because when your time comes, when you finally step into your full power, you will no longer crave belonging. You will understand that you were always meant to stand apart. No more waiting. No more hesitating. No more sitting in the shadows, watching the world unfold before you, waiting for the perfect moment to act. The perfect moment does not exist. The right time is not somewhere in the future. It is right now. For too long, you have been searching for a sign, some undeniable proof that you are meant for more. This is your sign. The very fact that you are here, reading these words, feeling this truth resonate within you, is proof that the time for waiting has passed. The world is growing darker. The distractions are becoming more powerful. The forces working against you are no longer subtle. They are relentless, pushing harder than ever to keep you asleep, lost, and uncertain. They want you trapped in hesitation because hesitation is their greatest weapon. Every moment you delay, every time you question yourself, every excuse you make, it gives them more power over you. But you were not sent here to live in fear. You were not chosen to remain small, to play it safe, to wait for someone else to tell you when it's time. Your destiny has always been waiting for you, but you must be the one to claim it. So I ask you again, will you rise? Or will you keep waiting for a moment that will never come? Will you keep making excuses, keep doubting, keep hoping that one day everything will feel ready? Because chosen ones do not wait. They move. They step forward even when they are afraid, even when the path is unclear, even when the world tells them to stop. They rise, not because the timing is perfect, but because they refuse to stay asleep any longer. This is the moment. Your moment. What you do next will change everything. Everything you have been through led you here to this moment, to this message, to this choice. You have been tested. You have been betrayed. You have been pushed to the edge time and time again. Yet, you are still here. That alone should tell you something. You were not meant to be broken. You were not meant to stay small. You were meant to rise. No more excuses. No more hesitation. No more waiting for the world to recognize what you already know in your soul. This is your moment of truth, because the world is about to witness the awakening they never saw coming. And the enemy's greatest fear? You finally realize who you were always meant to be. Thank you for being here, for seeking truth, for embracing the path you were meant to walk. This journey is only beginning. Subscribe now and stay connected, because together we rise. The world is changing, and the chosen ones must stand united. Your awakening starts now.